Welcome back to Exalted, Crimes of Nature, Dragon Bloods, the 3rd edition.
Did I have accidentally timing?
Hmm?
Did I just have incredible timing by accident?
Yes, you just kind of ultra instincted your way back to the start of the recording. Welcome back. Last time, the crew, upon having the prisoner Sinus Lysaea, the former prefect of the Jade Orchid Prefecture, and nominal quasi-emperor of a kind of Potemkin realm out in the sticks, and committer of just so many crimes, just so many crimes, unbelievable amount of crime, has been put into custody, put on a boat, and sailed down the world's largest river to take him out from the eastern edge of the world towards the center, towards the realm, the Imperial City, and all of the Blessed Isle. Now, before we go to the Imperial City itself, I know that a couple of players had a couple of things they wanted to retcon, wanted to bring up as things that they wanted to do during the downtime that had not been addressed. So this is a moment for people to address that, just in passing. I know in particular, I believe Crumb and Bradway wanted to do a scene with calling Vanif, and Sunna wanted to address a few things. If anyone would like to go first.
I mean, Sunna had such perfect timing. I think Sunna needs to go first.
Okay, we're all good.
Sunna?
Yeah, what?
You had mentioned to me the other day that you had a couple of things that you wanted to just kind of clarify and change.
Yeah. So, officially, the reason that we were popping into, we'll say, his place every once in a while, I put a tracking device on him, just in case.
Yeah. Basically slipped a alchemical concoction that will make him stank on a frequency that the human nose does not normally sense.
So in case he tries to get away, we can find him.
Mm-hmm.
He's dying. That's not stopping. That's the big point of order, really.
Yeah, any other business?
That I did that. No, that's
okay. That's the major thing. Okay.
All right, something I think that can be done quickly on my own part. So as part of getting the crew ready for our trip into the Isle, Repose is, of course, going to be, for his own sake, settling a bunch of what is acceptable behavior for folks who are traveling to the Isle on, pilgrimage, as you do, while practitioners of religion. And kind of the centerpiece thing to be doing while we're traveling over, that can then be, work that is happening during a conversation piece as he cross-references with the gentlemen who actually live here about what is current normal conduct. Repose is going to make a bunch of salt. We are on the sea.
Smart.
There is water everywhere waiting to be processed, so we will set up a very broad, shallow tray somewhere on the deck, and for the most part allow just sunlight during the day on good days to do the work of evaporating it, so you can collect that briny goodness. And then on other days, just heating up rocks with personal dragon heat, and using those to help actively boil off more of the water.
Right.
On land, you would, of course, just light a fire, but that would be rude to do on a boat. You don't frivolously start fires on a boat.
Yeah. So, roll me a very quick intelligence occult with a 1-die stunt.
Can I assist in this one? Because as I am a water type, I could help with the evaporation of water.
You could actually roll intelligence bureaucracy with +2, specifically, to assist on this.
Will do.
Because you're okay. Repose has got it anyway, but
you know what? I'm good. Never mind.
Repose remembers as this is going on that this is something that a lot of creation has kind of a system for, but especially around the Blessed Isle, is the salt tax. You don't take salt from the salt gods without giving something back, or taking a portion of your take and putting it back, or having some form of equivalent exchange. there is a pinned exchange rate that varies, and there's some lenience on if you are not actually involved in the direct economy of it. But in general, the salt gods know how valuable salt is to humanity and are very willing to take their take in blood if they do not get sufficient levels of kickbacks from people taking the free salt from the water. So
That is why you work in all of the appropriate service fees into your salt-making magics, because
yes.
you work the appropriate magics into everything you do so that your work doesn't end up cursed.
Yeah. Repose is just doing this naturally without even thinking about it, of just the entire
Being
ritual...
surprised when people notice stuff that he is doing alongside the regular work. And what do you not?
Yeah. The way Repose has been taught by his sect is just, yeah, if you ever manage to go near the center or anywhere with salt water, do not fuck with the salt gods. Don't. So the sailor's looking mildly impressed that this guy from the landlocked Styx knows how this works. Is just, what? Of course I do.
All right, and so I would like to throw down actually a major project's worth of crafting to just kind of equip his whole team with. Everyone gets a bag of salt. That is their personal travel funds for the duration of the pilgrimage. Ideally, not to be spent on anything, but if necessary, you have the holy pocket sand.
Can I turn these into white dragon tiles?
You could use the sanctified salt as basis for that.
Yeah, he will take the bag and not think aloud what he is planning to do with the salt.
I mean, Yang also has an income from being, potion seller, so for all of the pilgrims, it's being paid in salt and using that as your basis, but also as a, alchemical or sacred catalyst is important. Yang just has a bunch of salt. This is just really good quality salt that you could be using for your mahjong tiles.
Mm-hmm. And this will importantly fit into the lessons that Propose has been going with about wealth being a product of people, and you should not separate the idea of wealth from the idea of work. They're all being involved in and participating in this, and you are going to have money because you have earned it by doing good things that will be of use to yourselves and to others.
Labor is value. And yeah, I switched over to the zoomed-in view of the Blessed Isle. The current player token is off on the east. Just to let everybody know, rather than the...
Move the camera on over to it, and...
So,
get ready to throw the old boosted crafting pool.
Just because I'm idly curious, what's Numa up to the north of the isle on the top right corner of this map?
Numa is one of the cities of the north. It's one of the closest ones. I don't remember its gimmick offhand.
I wanted to bring up some minor housekeeping.
Sure, what's up?
That happened last time. In between the sessions, we decided on a couple things. I would have had in character, literally, maybe due to actually trying to improve, maybe due to stress, Obsidian would be working out a lot the entire journey over. And this is to justify Strength 5.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I thought this over with Darren in between the sessions. I'm taking Sun as a ally, as a 5-star ally.
Yes, Sun Guanyang is now ally, a ally merit with, with Obsidian Shield, which means that he can be much more actively called upon, rather than just kind of hanging out in the fringes, watching and waiting to be talked to.
And also, just this little bit of housekeeping, as I always will do. I still don't have the crew worked out yet. I'm literally going to work on that during this session. Because cool. If I don't do it now, I'm just going to forget again for another week.
That's cool. It's fine.
All right.
We have not gone anywhere yet. We're in the middle of stuff that was happening on the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you are entirely in time.
This is totally going to be a quick, one-off, brief visit to the Isle. In no way is the boat or anything else going to be relevant with the crew for a while. It's fine.
We couldn't possibly run into any complications that would prolong our engagement with events on the Isle. That doesn't happen.
Look, just quick in and out, 5 minutes, etc., etc. Rest of the bit. Anyway,
Anyway, so that's 8 successes against whatever base difficulty you feel like Assault Harvest would entail.
that's probably 4 threshold successes, I would say. Just as a base difficulty of 4. So, plus 2 silver and 1 gold.
Right, yeah, so that note there is I have a Flawless Facet Realization. I reroll Essence non-1 failed dice, and successes on those dice pay out bonus craft motes, in addition to doing their thing. So, definitely this was about creating and strengthening intimacies in my acolytes,
Yes, absolutely,
towards
you get
myself, about clear and tangible benefit of, all right, now we do have important universal spending money, and upholding, furthering, and protecting existing intimacy of the artisan, of just his whole general religious deal.
Yeah, that's all 3 ticked off.
Is payout on several fronts. So major project, yeah. For objective satisfied, 2 gold, 1 silver. And I will note down those results accordingly. Alright, so that was the only mechanical thing Repose wanted to conduct. Well, I suppose also I may as well, as a narrative lead-in to any conversating we're going to do on our way towards the Isle. So Repose is going to spend a lot of nights, being up all night, continuing to work on stuff and prepare stuff, and doing a whole lot of more intense than usual ritual grooming and self-preparation as he makes all manner of observances over and over again for drawing nearer to the middle, to the source of what he is on the advent of his season.
Yeah, it is ascending Earth right now, so...
Very important, having a lot to think about this being something that's just kind of happening suddenly to him. As
have been nudged into this very auspicious situation.
And the net result of this is that as we're finally closing in, Repose is just in general a lot cleaner and healthier looking, and a little bit like actually shiny and glossy and polished. He has moved up to appearance too.
Has taken care of any appearance, is now standing out an average amount.
Is you like notice him doing small self-grooming things during the day that I guess just weren't part of his normal motions before, so it makes it stand out as odd.
Okay, so
Shiny
next
man.
I think would be Milan and Angler, and the thought that they had.
Well, we're going to be calling Grandma.
Yeah, and this is not going to be while you were this close to the island. This will be dialed back like a couple of weeks while you were still on the river.
This would have been like the day we left, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the whole giving you a heads up that we're coming ourselves rather than, we're 2 days away. By the way, get ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bradway, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Right before this talk happens, Angler's going to kind of look at you and then look a little bit more intensely. And then right before you have a chance to react, he's going to take 2 fingers and smack you right in the forehead. And while he does that, he uses sense writing technique. What this does is it pretty much puts a mark on Vanif, and if I am in a meditation, I can see through Vanif's eyes and hear and all that fun stuff. So if Vanif is talking to Vanif, wow, I need to do that better.
Milan is
Milan
talking to
Why we
Venice.
should be saying Milan, and we
Sorry.
cannot stop.
Yeah. Milan is talking to Vanif. I will be able to at least hear her, and I'll be able to speak to Vanif, who will then... God damn it. Milan, who will then talk to Vanif.
Now
This is
you are
the- this is
reaping
the-
what
this
you
is
have
the
sown.
problem.
Congratulations.
This is the problem with taking like dynastic names as your primary speaking name when you actually talk to the person who founds it.
I'd like to think that this is all in character.
Yeah. No, this is definitely like I've never had to consider talking to the founder of a house because they're not usually accessible.
You have spent long enough just thinking of this Vanif, who is the only Vanif you're interacting with as Vanif.
And that's why I call her Gram Gram.
I am
This
not
is why
going to
I
call her
always say
Gram
young
Gram.
Milan. It's also disrespectful, which is also very good.
Yes. But
Sure,
also
but-
very accurate, as I am the youngest scion of the house.
Yep.
Wait, you're the youngest you're the oldest grandchild, right?
Yeah. I'm the oldest. I'm the firstborn grandchild
Okay.
of direct descendant.
Okay. Well, I have set up that link, and I am going to, when we're doing this, be sitting in a meditative trance next to Milan when they're doing this, so that I can hear and make the back and forth a little less arduous.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's good practice.
All right. Put on the mask. Cast the spell. Are you gonna make me roll for it? It's a dirt
No,
sheet
no.
spell.
This is not a tense situation where we're seeing if you can get it off in a series of time. I'm not making you roll sorcery. It just happens.
Dial tone goes through.
So there is a pause as your senses kind of go black into a void for a moment as you are adjusting through the sorcerer's connection, and your face starts to emerge from the tree. And you open your eyes and you see one of the patrician members of the house look up and see motion from the trees. Clearly, someone whose entire job is to sit in here and wait and see if there is a phone call. Bows respectfully to the eyes of your tree opening. Looks up. Who shall I fish for you, great sorcerer?
Hello, Jafan. Could you please fetch my grandmother, Vanif?
He thinks for a moment. Yes, I believe she's available. Please wait for me to retrieve her. And steps out for a moment, and it takes about 3 or 4 minutes before Vanif enters. She is in a fairly obviously not like dressed up to impress the court kind of clothing. The sort of clothing that you suspect that she liked to wear when she was younger and did not have the crushing weight of a great house on top of her.
She's in a
and-
good mood.
Yeah, just wistful for the old days kind of outfit.
So she won't kill me for this? Good.
So she takes one of the carved stumps that has been turned into a very meticulously carved and well-backed chair for her, takes a seat with a warm smile as she sees who is called. Milan, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Oh, quite well. I'm actually reaching out to speak with you. My hearth and I will be visiting the realm shortly in a few weeks. We have just now left via boat and are headed west.
Her eyes kind of widen and her eyebrows go up. Really? What business brings you back to the Isle? I figured that you were having a grand old time out there.
Well, House Sinis.
Her face immediately just goes from friendly grandma to...
One of their young scions, he committed so many crimes, and
Face slowly lowers into hand.
then I just go on and I just explain the Jade Orchid Prefecture and just like, oh my god, this dumb idiot. And it was so bad. It is my responsibility as a dragon-blooded of the realm to drag his ass back home for
Yes,
punishment.
yes. It most certainly. You read intentions, please.
Yep.
Can I also do this?
Yes, you are sharing senses, so you can do it.
Fun fact, I get any kind of bonuses that Milan gets to this read intentions roll.
Oh, yeah,
Three
right. That was the
successes.
writer on that. Okay.
Do you have any bonuses to this?
I just did my flat pool.
Okay.
No, you don't have any right now.
No, this is weird. I'm
Yeah,
too busy paying attention
Angler
to
is
Garden.
still Angler is still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. This is not what I should be actually seeing and feeling. This is wild.
He is trying really hard not to lose his absolute goddamn mind when he saw her face like change to "I'ma kill someone" mode. So it's like, oh, that's what that's like. Cool.
Milan can realize it was less "I'm going to kill someone" and it was more a brief moment of "I swear to God, if you got yourself into a sex or drug scandal, I am going to be so disappointed in you." And was visibly relieved when it was, "Oh, it's just politics. Thank God."
And yeah, I go through explain like, yeah, this was horrendous and awful, and he propped himself up as his own little emperor.
Well, I would suggest alerting the Imperial City with a potential capital crime of the members of the Great Houses. And then I would suggest taking him directly to the Pangu Prefecture, where his house can meet their own judgment on him. She pauses with a grimace. Technically, the deliberative does need to get involved, but... well, we'll address that when we come to that.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was another matter I had called you for.
Mm-hmm.
One of possible brighter note.
Mm-hmm.
One of my Hearth members is, through his own means, connected into this discussion. His name
head tilts at that.
His name is Angler Spanning All Seas of House. Was it Nellens?
Nellens.
House Nellens. We had spoken of him before, and
Ah, yes.
he wanted to speak with you.
Indeed. Well, I would certainly not deny him an audience with such my favorite grandson as one of his hearthmates.
Angler's going to speak up at this point. Greetings, Reverend Mother. I am a little nervous talking to you as I can't see you per se, and you can't see me, but I wanted to speak with you a matter of what's going to happen with the region that has just been cleansed by us taking this idiot back home.
She kind of chuckles slightly at the mention of being nervous, as though that, like, it's not even a read intentions necessary. It's more along the lines of she took that for granted at this point as being a Grand House member of. She assumes anybody is going to be at least either nervous or actively angling for her throat. So actively hearing somebody saying it outside, yeah, sure, yeah, that works. It's charming, if anything. But when you mention dealing with the power vacuum left behind, she nods. I'm listening.
What's probably going to happen is Nellens is going to take control of that region. However, due to the wonderful help that your grandson has given in taking care of the issue, I want to forge trade agreements that House Venif has first and foremost trade routes to that region so that we can skirt around any kind of taxation that might come through any other, less than favorable houses along the way.
It's a remarkably delicate game you're playing with the satrapy's politics, especially at a time like this.
Well, the way I see it is we need all the friends we can get, and by we, I mean our houses do. And while our houses are not
She
But
raises an eyebrow at that, but doesn't interrupt, but an eyebrow does raise.
And the way I see it, this is possibly a small but opening move that can allow our two houses to profit. And I see no downside to us joining in a small trade alliance in this way.
How much of your house's authority are you speaking with?
Right now, not much, but when I return home, my wife, who is someone of authority, because, well, we're exalted and that has some meaning in our house, quite a bit.
How much authority are you speaking with? Well, my wife.
Yep. I just wanted to set it up. I
Yeah.
actually set that up just so you guys could get out of your system.
Sure you did, buddy.
Veneve kind of sighs. While I appreciate the overture, do understand that I do need a little more direct connection with the leadership of House Nellens if I want to consider this any sort of formal alliance. But informally, as a matter of trade agreement between a scion of my bloodline and a scion of the bloodline of Nellens, of course I would not be opposed to such a thing, especially if it was mutually profitable.
Excellent. Which leads to what my hope is okay, I keep forgetting this. What is the name of the major city out there again?
Which one?
Great
The
Falls.
one-
Grey Falls?
Grey Falls. Grey Falls. Grey Falls is control of House Sinus right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. The main reason I want to do this is because House Sinus took Grey Falls from us 5 years ago. I'd very much like that back, and I think you'd agree. Be better if they had any kind of hold in that region lessened or removed.
Read intentions.
Going to do that. Ba-doop, boop, boop. 5.
6.
She is in active shock that you are being this open about a potential, undermining and theft of a satrapy from another house. You
Yep.
just, you are just completely not even talking your way around it, and she's just kind of, wide-eyed open, you're seriously just going right for... really? She's kind of momentarily speechless as she has become much more used to veiled threats and, talking around a subject and deniability, but it's just wow, you're just coming right out and saying it, huh? Composes herself.
Apologies if I was forward. My time out here has taught me to be direct.
It is a skill that is valuable in moderation, yes. I would be very careful as to using that skill on potentially less sympathetic ears.
Of course. But I've heard a lot about you from your grandson.
Oh, I can assure you that most of it is flattery.
Okay. We'll go with
She's-
that.
She's just kind of the smile and wave of a hand at that, but
The
then
funny
her
part
eye-
about this is all being communicated through me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But her eyes, and now you get the sense that she can't quite see you, Angler, but the eye contact that she's making with the mask is stealing in a way that you don't think she would be looking at Milan at. She is effectively trying to make eye contact with you, having realized that you're probably leaning in on this somehow. I would
Yep.
be very careful with the plans that you're making, but House Venif will not make any direct overtures to interrupt any sort of movement along these lines. We have no stake in the ownership of Grey Falls, as it were, right now. So if it were to change hands from Sinus to Nellens, it would not overly impact our own fortunes. We would not see ourselves being so brash as to get directly involved in a potentially bloody affair. At least overtly.
And that is what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
I wish you safety and luck, Angler. And I wish you and your hearth the best. And if anything happens to my grandson, I know where I can find you.
Absolutely.
She just kind of bows her head pleasantly at that with a just kind of implicit, and I'm done.
Nope. And Angler is actually going to pull himself out of the meditative trance at that point after saying the thanks and let Vanif, damn it, Milan have a conversation with Vanif as they see fit.
Let Vanif discuss anything that they would only like to share with Vanif.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Vanif business.
Vanifness. Would there actually be any like one-on-one stuff that Milan would like to talk about?
Let me think.
Talking to grandma stuff, probably.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be full conversation, but just any potential topics.
I wanted to.
I mean, you know, call your grandma.
Yeah.
That kind
Mhm.
of stuff.
I wanted to hear from her what the current situation on the Isle is.
Nemen has taken the overt claim that should the Empress be dead, it should be assumed that she would have declared Nemen the heir apparent. You all know it, there's no use in arguing it. Clearly, I would have been the heir, it was just a matter of time. I am the model of my mother, built to be her successor, and so on and so forth. And that rustled a lot of feathers. And there was a lot of, well, do we back her openly? Do we say no openly? Do we keep our mouth shut? And for about a month and a half, people just were content to let her mouth off and keep their mouth shut until House Pelops openly backed her at one of Sinis's social gatherings, saying, yes, you would have been the Empress's choice of an heir. You would, in fact, have been the clear and obvious choice of her Immaculate Redness's, continuation of power. And
Of course, it would have been Pelops.
yeah, she doesn't have to explain to you exactly why they said that. It is
Yeah,
extremely.
That definitely sounds like they're making a power play in your direction.
She's just very grimacingly like, yeah. The other updates is that the rest of the great houses above board have been still silent on the matter. There was a bit of kind of coldness from Catholic towards Pelops. Just kind of like, come on, dude, really? You're really just don't get the military involved in this. Come on. But otherwise, there was not much of a response above board. The two things that are major things that she would bring up to you are one, she would admit to you that she has reached out to House Regara and has not gotten in contact with Regara himself yet, as the man is extremely difficult to get in contact with, even for other house members. But if there's anyone on the Isle that you need as a counterweight on the other side of a block that is forming with Menemen in it, it's her brother that spent the first 300 years of her life trying to kill her. Or however long. A very long amount of time, but in their childhoods was Regara attempting repeatedly to murder her. So, if you want any sort of power block balanced against
Step
House
one
Menemen,
to opposing eldest sister is to go to eldest brother.
go to eldest brother and scream, please help.
I would bring up to grandmother to unofficially reach out to my father over in Ladal.
She grimaces a little bit about that, because that ties into point 2, is that everyone has been expecting Ladal to immediately jump to back House Menemen, because House Ladal is fanatically religious, and Menemen is the house with possibly the best religious appearance. They haven't done that yet. They haven't said. They have been very coy and very kind of like, yeah, I mean, that would be a good idea. They haven't officially said we support you as the heir. And that feels weird to her, that they wouldn't immediately jump on Menemen and be like, yeah, well, we're with her. We're in that power block. Don't fuck with us. We are with Team Religion. there feels to her like something is up. Because that feels like it would be the freest association for a power block to happen. And the fact that it has taken more than 10 seconds for them to decide means that there's probably some calculations going on under the table. And she doesn't know what, and that concerns her.
All the more reason to speak with my father. He may have an ear on the pulse of Lidal.
Lidal is hesitating. That's highly suspicious.
Yeah, Ladal, the kick down the door and shoot everyone in the room and ask questions on who the anathema was later, are taking more than 5 seconds to actually make a decision. What is happening? Somebody's got you by the throat. But, yeah, no, that is basically the political update, is Mnemen and Peleps are an official block. Venif has been trying to reach out to Regara. Ladal is a large question mark, and Kathik just seems to be deeply irritated by... Guys, come on, for fuck's sake. Please. Please don't just... We all know that this is gonna happen, but come on, don't do it like this. And then, like, you know, Sinis, Nellens, Cesis, Tepet have all just been keeping their mouths shut and hiding under the covers and hoping nobody looks at them too closely.
Don't look at us, don't look at us, don't look at us, don't look at us.
Yep.
Nevin is making declarations. Pelops immediately responds with, I agree, we should punch the baby.
And everybody else in the room is just shifting awkwardly, like, did you really just say we should punch the baby? Come on, party foul? Like, I agree to a degree, but, like, it's uncouth to be that loud about it.
Meanwhile, the baby is declaring, you can't punch me, I'm the baby.
It's my birthday, I'm a little guy. I'm a
So
little girl.
We're just a little house.
Is Grandma Dome done?
Almost.
I'm gonna ambush them when they come out of the room.
Okay,
So
yeah.
when that happens-
Unless there is a last statement from Elon, that is all that is catching up.
I think that's it. Covered what's going on in the inevitable countdown to Civil War. We're coming home. I mentioned I'll try and see her if I can, if business permits.
She nods. She understands.
You do call more often. It's all right.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the comment in chat of Cesis has not taken a public position. In other news, the sun rose. But yeah, Yang is in position once this conversation is done in like the captain's cabin or one of the one of the bunks. To
Hello,
just
friends, partners, word.
What?
A word
what-
up deck.
Yeah, what's up?
Everyone, group meeting.
Group meeting.
Does this everyone refer to old
I will
man as
invite
well?
you, but you can turn it down, and I have no power over that, and I know this.
All right, real quick. Hey, newbie.
What's up?
Which member of the crew would accept a challenge by old man to wrestling?
I have one in mind, but there is a guy who's probably going to have a 2 points at brawl.
That's fine.
I don't have a name for him yet.
Okay.
Bulk.
Well, right now
we can just say
old
Brawlman
man
for
is-
now.
Brawlman.
Right now, Brawlman is currently wrapped up by old man like he's a weird snake.
Brawlman is just looking deeply confused. You know the look on a cat's face when you have him by the scruff of the neck and they've just kind of internally shut down?
Yeah, he's by this I do literally mean like wrapped up from like legs to top body, wrapping around at least twice.
Obsidian,
Like he is a weird snake.
Obsidian is walking on the way to the sudden group meeting, looks to the side, sees this, goes, he won't kill you, it's training.
It feels so gross!
Yeah, I know.
It's about to get worse.
No!
Well, as soon as Yang burst in, said something, and left, Angler would turn to Manif and say, your father's house is not getting involved?
Yeah, you'd think they'd immediately declare support for Nemen, but no, they've remained silent.
Darren, what via all the stuff I had been doing on the island for however long I was with the investigative branch, did I see anything that might have been cluing in on this, like any kind of trade deals or undercover things that
No.
might have had them? Okay, I didn't think so.
You can roll a this is going to be a pretty high difficulty wits bureaucracy roll to try to puzzle out a possible chain of motives, but that would just be all hunches rather than evidence-based.
Sure. Well, I can still give it a shot. I might as well use motes for this. So 2 extra successes, automatic successes, excuse me. It'd only be 4. I don't get a chance to roll those 6s because I didn't roll a 10.
Yeah, now you're just thinking about it and you're like, it could be anything. It could be all sorts of things. It is just, the thing that sticks out with you is, yeah, no, this is fucking weird. There's absolutely some sort of under the table motive that is making them hesitate. But what it is and how long they will hesitate, loud question mark.
All right, fair enough. That's it.
And we have been dragged up on deck.
And Yang is
So
dragging.
I got this map on a table, and I'm just gonna look at everybody and say, so what are we doing with him? Like, what are we actually doing with him? What do you need him for? Can I kill him?
Well,
Yang, we're literally going to turn him into the cops, and then they will probably kill him.
No, it has to
No,
be-
we're not turning him into the cops. We're turning him into his family, and they will kill him.
No,
Yes.
we have to expedite it.
How about this? As soon as he's off our hands, he is no longer our jurisdiction. So whatever you want to do after he's out of our hands, I don't care.
So specifically, I told him who I am, so that we have to do something about it. This guy cannot live to see any sort of trial.
Hey, Yang,
Yeah.
do you want to do a break-in assassination into a prison?
I'm not gonna move more than a mile from this dude.
Oh, okay. If we hand him over to Sinis,
The second he's not in your possession, I'm murdering him.
yeah, like wait till we hand him off, so any blame and stuff is gone from our heads.
I want you all to know I am warning you in advance because I trust you and you're my brothers, but I am murdering him the second I can. And what's the least inconvenient time for him to die?
When he's not in our custody anymore.
Okay.
Because as soon as you kill him in our custody, then that's on us.
All right.
Do you
Excellent.
want help in this assassination?
No, it's going to be easier. If it's going to be cleaner if, like I already was deciding if I should tell you or not, because then you could actually, but you should know,
I am shocked you haven't killed him already, to be honest.
Milan, we cannot get involved with this kill. We can't.
Yes.
I have had no less than 20 times I could have snapped his stupid little Look, I want you to know, like, I just want him dead. The sooner he's dead, the sooner we can all move on with this. Rich, he's just like, these people, they drag it out to make a point. Just kill him and get it done with. I already don't like that we're fucking profiteering off this in some sort of way, but like, I can't betray you guys again.
I won't do anything to stand between you and killing him once we hand him over to Sinis.
I have a way of making sure that he doesn't communicate anything before you take care of him.
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
Never mind. I was going to say something. I realized it'd be very out of character for Obsidian, so I'm not going to.
You're gonna suggest making him mute?
Yes, I can make him mute, deaf, blind. I can rob him of all his senses.
Obsidian has walked out of the room and is covering his ears at this point.
I would actually like help doing this. Yes, I don't like this part of the job.
I'm not going to be mutilating him.
Well, yeah, no, we're just disabling him. But
No, I don't. I just need to touch his forehead once.
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't even have to torture him.
No.
Oh, thank God! All right, yeah, cool. Let's do that. I was dreading that part.
It'll last for about a day. So once we're close and we're about to do the takeoff, I'll take care of it.
That's fine. And we can use that excuse as why he's blind, deaf, and all that shit. It's just yeah, okay, cool. All right. Whew,
Hippos, who has been quietly just, warming some rocks in his hands while most of this is going on, will kind of slide over and reassuringly lay a hand on Yang's shoulder and just speaking to him in old and he's like kind of teachering and tutoring voice. If a killing is just, it is not murder. It is execution.
Yeah, I know. Like I am executing him. I don't think it's fun, but like it's business. I gotta do it.
You're making sure that he can't slip his way out of this.
Yeah.
In old,
And
I will also say
Everything else that Yang said there met with approving nods of like, yes, good, yep, that's it, yep, that's how you do it.
Yang, maybe
That's
next time-
executing, yep, it's terrible. A lot of executioners don't want their face seen while they're doing it because it's regrettable to need to execute.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you. That's all I wanted to get off my chest, and I'm glad you're all here for me in this time of assisted murder, assisted execution.
Hey, Darren.
Hmm.
I have one question given all this stuff that's going on in the chat right now.
Yeah, I've been watching that. What's up?
If Old Man was to snake up and like grip onto someone and then form the copper skin, would that be extremely heavy or what?
Yes, it would be.
So would that be crushing?
That would be putting the entire weight of your copper body on top of their shoulders when they're not bracing for it and probably don't have the musculoskeletal strength to hold it up. No.
Right. So good to know.
Yeah, don't do that to Brawlman unless you want to kill Brawlman.
No, I haven't. No.
That's basically my warning. Don't do this to people you don't like. You want to have a spine afterwards.
Anyways, Yang is now gonna hug everyone and then go down into his room and make a poison that will kill God himself.
Okay, roll me a. Let's roll me an intelligence craft alchemy for poison making.
I think that's a 7 then. Wait, 5. That's an 8. Because all right. What? Oh, I typed rule.
Oh, whoops.
If you will.
All right. You don't fuck around this time. It is. You are not going for the slow, painful torture poisons. You're not going for the overt, flashy poisons. You are just, hello, Foxglove. Yeah, let's just go with just a murderous dose of atropine.
Just everything poison, just everything,
Let's
heart,
just have something that shuts down
the nervous
everything in the body at once.
Just like atropine, nerve agents, just an off switch in a bottle.
Do I have anything that is a cardiac arrestant here? Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
but you have like a handful of foxglove that you just boil down.
Yep, poison
Like
arrow, just done, one shot.
You have a small vial, like just one dose, but this is like even a wood aspect dragon blood is going to have a hell of a time surviving this.
Like
poison.
I'm basically designing a poison to kill myself if I, shot at it. Just like this has to kill someone, so like I'm using myself as a constant of like worst case scenario for
Suicide as metric for killing someone else is a hell of a concept.
Yeah. Like if I made a poison and it almost kills me, that means if I batch it up a little bit, it's gonna work.
Test the LD50 on myself and then just double it. It's fine.
That's how science works.
You can test LD50s on one person. Don't worry about it. Don't think about the testing procedures on that one.
During this, Yang is going to get a knock on the door of the room he's doing this in.
Oh, I've decided that this is the recipe he has for this is he uses in assassinations all the time, and it's called business juice.
Yes, good.
Anyways, sorry, what? Yeah, hi.
Hey,
Don't drink this. Do not drink. See this? I just first thing before we start, do not drink that. Ever.
Milan puts his hand over his mouth. Cool. I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
Doesn't look tasty though.
It does actually look pretty tasty. It looks like
Is
bourbon.
it like you got a fucking like a grip full of Ecto Cooler?
if you put ice in
It's
it,
got
it
like
really really good shot glass.
it's got stripes like a tropical frog on the surface of it as it flows around. It's just
Just this weird mystery liquid roiling ominously while you're having a tartar beer.
Hey, once you're finished, once we drop this guy off and you're finished icing this guy,
Yeah.
there's something I want to show you.
Really?
Would you come with me to the Imperial City's bureaucracy of transportation?
Sure. I mean, I don't have anything else to do. This is my only business here is making sure this dude dies.
Could you not bring this up with anyone else?
Even Angler?
Okay, yeah, Angler.
All right. Sure. What about old man? What about old man? I don't think he would ever even ask for care, but just in case, you never know.
On the off chance he asks, you can tell him, but
It's never gonna happen, but just
yeah, but no one else. Not even Sybil.
I don't even know how to talk to her really. She just kind of shows
You've
up. She's like,
You've done it 2 or 3 times at this
Is
point.
she your mentor?
Yeah, I just kind of wing it. It's not something I can really do on purpose, I think.
With her that makes a lot of sense.
It's a goose style thing. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
Remember,
Isn't that supposed to be foaming?
don't. I know it looks tasty. Don't.
Cool.
It smells oddly like a caramel almost.
It smells sweet. I know. Don't.
I'm gonna go to the
Like
galley.
a delicious walnut liqueur.
I'm gonna go to the galley and grab one of those.
Got some almonds in there too.
Dang.
Dang.
About this, you can drink whatever you want.
Bitter almonds are a different thing. We can't do this again. Listen, the cyanide and almonds thing is different. It's a misconception.
And in creation, it works the way people think it does. Got him.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Bullshit magic ass setting for idiots.
Look, you get me with the fucking whaling ship knowledge, and I'll get you with this.
Yeah. Cool. After assassination, Imperial City
Yeah.
office. Cool.
Gotcha.
Later.
Gotcha. Yeah, later.
God, I really want a pastry now. That smells really good.
It's part of why it works so well. It's because it makes people gives them an appetite and they want to consume it.
We want bite.
An antifreeze forbidden milkshake.
All right, so to deliver this, I do put it into a small capsule of different colors.
Swirling around each other.
Exactly.
it's a very
And no
peaceful
one can
and
resist
harmonious
it.
shape.
Oh, that's good art. Sorry.
I would have to add up all my poison resist dice, but it is like 18.
Yeah, it's
also makes it
obscene.
easier.
It's higher than many would aspect.
You
Yeah.
could probably drink the forbidden milkshake and survive.
It would
Yes.
be a
It
very
would probably still
unpleasant.
hurt.
It would
But
be unpleasant, but you would live.
It would be the first time
Yes.
you remember pain in a very long time, probably.
no,
Well,
the last time that old man
the
remembers
beamed
pain is
was
when
the
he got beamed and
Oh,
he
yeah,
got,
yeah.
he was
it
hurt so bad
The
that
fact
he
that
couldn't
whenever-
bleed.
The front fell off of old man.
Whenever you talk to old man and the entire front 180 degrees is scar tissue.
That was funny.
It was. That was being real. It was pretty
All right.
funny.
All right, so thing to assert, whenever he is in copper skin form now, there is a sprue line all the way down the front of him, as if the front of him had to be recast fresh from the mold.
That's where the mold fucked up. It's like a bad knockoff Games Workshop model where you could just see the giant chunky sprue line in the tin.
Oh,
Do not like that.
no.
Don't worry, he sanded himself down at this point. It's at least smoothed up. You can see the line still.
What happens when you uncopper and you've sanded yourself down?
Don't worry about it.
Just slightly to
Old
the
man
side of
is-
that conversation, Repose is there, visibly shiny.
Old man is currently climbing up the mast by encircling around it like a snake.
Like an anaconda climbing a tree.
Yes.
Angler
can't do
jumped
any
overboard.
So you can't do that while we're in the, you know,
Where's overboard, you say?
Yeah, he's just swimming right along with the ship. It's
Okay.
weird that he's keeping up with them.
It's actually
Don't so move that fast.
he's setting the pace with the boat. Hey, can this boat go any faster? Can we race
There is
Angler?
There is a ping in your brain of, I'm currently going as fast as the wind direction will allow me.
But
can't you fix that? You're a wind aspect.
That's weird.
Maybe
I've got boat in my brain.
maybe Scarlet, what's her face, is like got wind defenses. Maybe it always gives you a headwind when you try to boat over there without docking permission or something.
Yes, but the actual paperwork to get permission to use that is
Yeah, Milan knows that, yeah, you can make the boat go faster with more wind, but also, this is the first time you've been back into the realm in a while on an unmarked ship. So, best not to do any too smooth moves.
Is
Because
this
the
one-
bureaucracy
Not an
for ship.
independent ship.
Can we row?
Obsidian Shield is going to have some kind of personal ID flags
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
up there for doing business. As
yeah.
a non-pirate,
Right, yeah.
he has a
It's
banner.
unregistered vessel is the words I was looking for. Thank you. Milan knows that this is going to still be an immense amount of paperwork for showing up as a new unregistered vessel for the first time in the capital city. Showing up and showing off your magic while doing it is probably going to make it take even longer.
yeah, that's going to get a lot of people's attention pointed at specifically Obsidian.
Well,
So, it is shortly into the morning of the... Let me double check the calendar before I say the date out loud. I think I know it. Yeah, it is about like 11 in the morning on the 6th of Ascending Earth, when the Scarlet Empire's capital city begins to come into view. And for the dynasts who have for the non-dynasts who have never seen it before, the Potemkin village aspect of, you know, the Jade Orchid Prefecture desperately trying to mimic the grandeur feels even more pathetic now that you can see the real thing. These are buildings that are going up almost as high in the horizon as the big mountain in the back. Just almost. Not quite. But this place is possibly the biggest city in the entire world. It is sprawling, it is immense, it is millions upon millions of people live and work and congregate here. It is also kind of a huge sprawling mess to look at. Milan and Angler can kind of piece it together from exposure over their lives, but the rest are kind of surprised that the Imperial City is, for the realm being so proud of all of its geomantic innovations and, you know, following First Realm architecture, Repose looks at this and just sees a pile of buildings just thrown everywhere. This was... What did you do? You fucked up a perfectly good road plan is what you did. Look at it. It's cut offshoots. It's Boston. It's London.
Where's your grid?
Yeah, no, it's just... Looking at it, it is immediately apparent that this is not a planned capital. This was... Her redness sat down, said, "This is where I live now," and there was an explosion of everybody just putting buildings down wherever the hell they wanted, because, okay, this is the new empire now. We got to get here now. Build
This
a
is-
building now.
Quite literally, Empire / Republic of Rome.
Yeah. And as Nixel in chat said, oh no, it's London. It's Ankh-Morpork, it's Boston, it's Los Angeles. Think
Yeah,
of every
it's a
city
big
that you have
city.
personally cursed in your car while driving through. That's the Imperial City.
fucking Seattle.
Yes.
So, where's the Starro Drive? That's what I want to see. I want to see the gigantic packed up, always also super dangerous to go down roads.
Yeah, they're probably in there somewhere choked
We've
up.
got like 3 of those.
Yeah.
Right.
There are roads that are basically only avoiding being mass fatalities by the fact that they have dedicated gods constantly running them.
Fun note: if you look up Storo Drive, it will autocomplete to accident and traffic.
Yep.
Yeah,
How
the
soon until we're
historic
stopped by?
capitals of the middle were in other places. The historic capital of the old realm as a whole wasn't even on the island.
Yeah. The historic capital of the Blessed Isle was on top of the big mountain, and then it fell down. And this is here because this is where the Empress found the big red button and decided this is my house now.
So you know what's a good spot for a city? Here. It's a city now.
Yeah, and the reason Milan and Angler could tell you, and anyone familiar with realm history could tell you, is the reason specifically for the hideous sprawl is the Empress made a habit through her whole life, but especially at the start of her reign, of making people wait to have a personal audience with her. And considering the people that were waiting for an audience with her had a lifespan measured in centuries, she was perfectly willing to make them wait 20 years. Build a house. You're going to be here for a while. Find somewhere to sit. There is a whole lot of the center of the city that is just complete chaos, and then a couple of desperate attempts at a planned grid that immediately got swallowed by chaos again.
Now, there are going to be some roads that fold back on themselves. You just follow us. We know how to get through there.
One of the things that is somewhat orderly, by virtue of repeated expansions and iterations and tearing down old ones, is the docks, thankfully. So, the crew is able to pull into the docking district, and first of all, just marvel at the fact that there are probably more blue water boats here than anyone. Again, you haven't been on the blue water if you haven't been out in the center very often. These are the biggest boats that anybody from the Styx has seen in their entire lives. The current trading vessel you are on felt like a chunky cargo ship in comparison to the sorts of boats that ply the rivers and trade out into the further area. The boats out here that are just kind of the casual military vessels or the casual trade vessels are like 3 or 4 times larger. They're immense. They're Chinese treasure ships. They are the draft horse equivalent to your pony.
Oh, so they're the tea clippers.
Mm-hmm. It is an incredibly humbling experience to be like, yeah, this boat's pretty good. Oh my god.
If you're a boat haver, it's humbling, I guess.
So, before coming into the full sight line, but definitely, before it becomes a serious problem, Unbreakable Onyx does make sure to take one last pass at the disguise across the boat and just make it as nondescript as possible. As few major identifying features as can be seen, like down to, some weathering and some varnish peeling, some barnacle encrustment, but no major gouges in the planks, no distinct super figurehead that is notable to anybody else. It is the sort of boat where you turn your head 3 feet to the left and there's 4 more boats like it in the average port out in the Styx.
Obsidian would raise whatever flags that would deem the boat as a merchant boat.
Yep.
The most generic looking ones that he has on hand. And then would slip below deck before giving Milan, a look of if you need me.
I'm not here.
Just a nod back of,
Anybody calls, I'm
Yep.
not here.
When we're about an hour away from port, Angler's going to, probably already has been below decks, is going to look our prisoner in the eyes and say, "Not yet, but soon," and then tap him in the forehead and use Make sure I've got this right. Sense
I know-
destroying technique.
Sense destroying. Are you going only for speech? Or
Speech, hearing, and touch.
Okay. He is very visibly discoordinated once the touch one kicks in and is pretty distressed, but gives you a scowl like, yeah, okay, yeah, this was coming.
I can hold that for one. I'm guessing I probably see obsidian in here then.
Yeah, Obsidian is probably coming down as you are doing this. Just a tap on the head, and you can just see his mouth kind of cinch, like not cinch shut like sewn shut, but just kind of like lockjaw shut.
If only you'd been a better person. All right, that's it. I need to go upstairs. And he just walks up and just jumps right off the side of the boat to swim alongside it just to get that out of his head. He does not like doing this, but he needs to.
Sucks.
Yeah, well, originally he wasn't going to do this, but then someone said, by the way, I told them who I am, and that's really
It's to
bad.
make sure you fucking kill him, though. Otherwise, you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, life is a life" or something. I don't know.
I think the majority of the party was.
Yeah, that's what Yang thought was gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah,
yep.
just kill him. But then it turns out that like no.
Turns out the crew was actually completely down with let's just let the process kill the political prisoner, and if it gets extra political about it, then whatever. Turns out a lot of the crew is more cool with murder than you thought, in specific circumstances.
I
The
don't
crew
get
is not necessarily very moral people.
Smash
Right.
cut to ain't no rest for the wicked. Anyway, moving along.
All right. Milana's taking the wheel of the ship.
All right, give me a dex sail to get into port as smoothly as possible without causing a scene, because
All right.
it's the Imperial City port. There is constant traffic.
Well, use
What's
my
your sail?
I have a sail of 2, dex of 4, and a specialty of navigating harbor traffic.
All right.
Fine, you can drive.
I was gonna say if your sail was bad,
Maybe it was just like my boat.
I've
well,
driven
no.
these waters before.
I do have
Yeah.
over the last 20 minutes. I do have them sort of worked out at this point. I would have allowed the navigator to take over, but your sail's as good as his.
Yeah. Okay.
That
I'm
is 4
almost
successes.
done with these.
All right.
And I only did that just to make that specialty in navigating harbor traffic actually matter in this game.
In this.
I'm sure it's going to matter a lot more in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
When we get close to the actual shore, Angler will get there first just to head off any of the delegations coming to explain who they are.
Yeah, when you swim up, you are surrounded by a magistrate and a couple of black helmets, which are the colloquial term for basically city guards. They have black pot helmets with an open-faced front and a sash with a pentagram for the symbol of the Empire on it. They're the town guards, the cops. Now, they see that you are clearly a Dragonblood by the fact that you just swam across the entire harbor without losing your breath, and, the Imperial symbols upon your chest. So, when they see that, it's very clearly, okay, we don't have full jurisdiction if you want to make a scene of this, but... And they look you up and down. Is there a business that is so pressing that you could not wait until you docked with your proper vessel, sir?
Well, seeing as our vessel is a merchant vessel that is coming in from far afield, I figured I'd meet you all here and explain just who we are and head off any kind of problems.
Understood. Let me get you in contact with one of our dock workers.
Thank you.
So the guards clearly are like, okay, not my problem. You're just gonna go punt this upstairs to somebody I'm not dealing with. They go out and fetch one of the magistrates walking up and down the docks. She's wearing a very... It is strange to be out in the field where people have sensible clothing that is not ostentatious for the purpose of showing off your social station as much, because it is a much more resource-deprived area and people are a little more pragmatic with their clothes. This guy has a hat that's 4 feet tall.
Show off.
Yep. Silly question. Via my massive contacts and my former job, do I know this magistrate?
Roll me. Just roll me your contacts rating as a pool. You are aware of this guy. You don't quite remember his name, but you specifically remember number one, that hat. Number two, oh god, this guy will not stop. He will never cut you a break on any of the red tape. Ever. He will go through every single piece of the system, and he will not let you skip over it. And he is now the one who has been assigned to your boat. Great. He walks up to you. Hello and good morning. In the name of the Scarlet Empress, I welcome you back to the Blessed Isle. May I get your name?
No.
Is this an in-character? Oh, you're muted.
God damn it. Angler spanning all seas, bodyguard to Venif Milan, Imperial Logistics Operations.
Just, he is writing down with a quill, all, like, basically as fast as you are speaking on a long piece of paper against basically a clipboard, effectively. And nature of your business upon return?
This is not an actual hesitation in the game. It's more of a...
Yeah.
Returning a political prisoner.
Understood. Any additional cargo beyond the political prisoner?
Trade vessel, usual goods and supplies along with that. Nothing out of the ordinary, though.
I will be requiring a trade manifest from your quartermaster upon docking at the vessels. Let's see. Name of political prisoner?
I give his full name, which I don't remember off the top of my head.
Sinus Lysaea.
Sinus Lysaea, thank you.
Understood. Captain of the vessel.
The current sailing captain is Venif Milan.
There's a brief flicker over the top of the paper before writing that down. Name of the vessel?
I mean, you can say the name.
That, like, yeah, Obsidian gave it that name just now. It wouldn't give away anything about it. It's
they know,
Onyx.
out of character,
Yeah.
the realm doesn't know this boat exists.
Yeah, it's just I was going to call it just Onyx. I didn't want to give it the full name, but yeah, whatever the full name would be, then sure.
Unbreakable Onyx.
Yeah, Unbreakable. I was about to say Onyx Shield, but no, that's not right. That's Obsidian's. I'm putting.
Don't worry, I sometimes also forget the name of the boat, and it takes me like 2 minutes to remember.
I got Onyx, so it was the Unbreakable part that I wasn't sure about.
Unbreakable Onyx. Crew count?
12 plus whoever else is there.
Yeah, it was mostly the passengers or just crew itself.
Crew. Passengers is a secondary label.
12.
Passengers?
However many people would include Loon's crew of question mark.
Right.
So, X.
You
However
already
many
mentioned
followers
this before.
one, also maybe a dozen. Or no, exactly 10. You do good things in fives. 12 is a weird number.
Any particular luxury, exotic, or restricted goods to declare upon entering?
I have a lot of weird I'm probably smuggling a lot of shit in by accident in my backpack.
I wouldn't know about that, so I wouldn't mention it.
So
But
you wouldn't mention it, yes.
Yeah, I would have seen the trade manifest, and I don't think there would be any particular luxury things.
The official stuff being carried by Obsidian is nothing that the realm would care about. It's all the shit in Yang's backpack would raise eyebrows. But
And
I don't have to know.
that stuff. Yeah, that's actually a double blind system. I don't know.
Understood. Looks back at the vessel. Approximate water displacement. Visual distinct characteristics. Looks back, narrows his eyes a little bit, just kind of like makes a quick series of strokes that you're pretty sure is just a question mark or an NA equivalent. You know, distinguishing characteristics.
Distinguishing
It's a
characteristics.
ship.
Very boring.
Front attached.
yes. Pardon me. Origin point of trip?
Kim, you're from Great
hesitating for a
Falls?
moment of, yeah, it's Great Falls, but it's mostly a matter of, do we say Great Falls or do we say Raposa's split? No, it would be Great Falls, yeah. Great Falls.
Grey Falls. A innocent prisoner of war from Grey Falls, You must have been having an interesting time out in the satrapy.
Well, it's no place like home.
I suppose so. Flips over another parchment. Yeah. Any live goods on the ship?
No.
Read intentions.
You know what? I'll burn a willpower. Why not?
He seems to be looking through every box for some reason to slow you down. Like,
Yep.
not slow you down, but just like, God damn it, I want this boat impounded, and I don't have an excuse yet, and I'm looking for one. Looks back up, looks back at the boat. Approximate guest duration of your stay in this dock?
Depends on
Alright.
how long the trade takes.
How much? When do you get to make a bureaucracy roll to know that he's bullshitting you at this point?
Oh, no, I picked up on that almost immediately. Angler's just having fun and letting this guy steam.
Yeah, Angler is just like letting the fishing reel go out.
Because at this point, he knows he made a scene coming in. Someone who knows him will be coming over to talk to this guy very soon. He's just waiting for that to happen.
There's a exhale through the nose, looks back up at the boat. You mentioned that there was an acting sailing captain. Do you have the name of the formal captain of the ship for the records?
That would still be Vanif Milan, as he is
Whoa.
the governor of transportation.
Who
Remember,
owns
So, are we going with that Milan has commandeered and procured this vessel as his own property? That's how we're presenting
it's
this?
mostly that, no, it's because he is a sailing captain and because Milan is who Milan is, he has jurisdiction over any kind of sailing captain in this case.
Manipulation bureaucracy to basically underscore that point. To basically I have a legalistic way of saying fuck off.
Okay.
But who else drives this boat? I drive
Plus
this
2
boat.
auto successes on that, so that'd be 6. Oh, and I get to reroll one of those 6s too.
Visibly grits teeth, writes
7.
down Vanif Milan. And you are absolutely certain there is nothing else you need to declare on that boat.
I'm really happy to be home.
I believe sentiments are not valid cargo by the laws of the Imperial Redness.
That's true, but since it's the first time being back on Imperial
probably
soil
isn't
in
true.
6 months, I'm okay with it.
Honestly, that probably isn't true. I bet they have a way to categorize that.
The the magistrate is just like, you can see the fingers clutching the quill pens starting to tighten in irritation. And then there is a call from across the docks. Angler! Angler, is that you?
Why, yes it is. And just the shit-eating grin just comes right on his face as he turns.
Magistrate is like, just the top of that. He seems perfectly composed and still and normal and just totally fine. And there's just a slight enough tremor through his whole body that when you look at the top of his very big hat, it is wiggling back and forth. Just...
Vibration has occurred.
As you look over and you see one of your fellow members of the house, Nellens Agan, Agan, is approaching you. He's just a full-on, just born and raised in the Juge Prefecture, member of House Nellens, coming to see you. And just from the look on his face and the smile on yours, it is the mutual recognition of, I get to ruin a bureaucrat's day. Today is a good day. Excuse me, Magistrate. I will be taking over from here. I was expecting a shipment from my good friend here. You can go right along now. Understood, Master Nellens. I bid you both good day, and I wish you both good compliance with the rest of the docking procedures. Of course, we wouldn't be so biased as to try to cut red tape with you on the job. After all, you're the one who always looks over and makes sure we, cross our T's and make our P's and Q's across. Just the visible, just mask of professionalism over, I want to punch this man who could tear me in half. I hate this.
If this man takes a swing at my house member, he will die.
Yeah, no, like he's not, because he realizes both of you could peel him in half. But he just, like, the visible look of just like, God damn it. Why don't I have the superpowers? It just turns and storms down the rest of the dock. You're certain to absolutely ruin the day of the next person to dock by finding every single awful little check he can run them through just to exert petty authority.
You have thwarted what little power they have over their day-to-day life.
Yep.
I'm well aware. In fact, Angler's going to take care of that later.
Do you want me to kill them too or something?
No. Angler's actually probably, once we get all situated, going to follow that guy to wherever he goes and then discreetly, like, give whatever kind of taxation he's going to get on the next boat. He's just going to give those people the money to make up the difference. You guys had a bad day because of me. I'm sorry. I'm going to make up the difference.
So, yeah, no. Agon just walks up and gives you a heavy shoulder clap. He's a little shorter than you. Just kind of a small trimmed goatee, tied back hair in a ponytail, bright smiling eyes. Just the sort of guy who is just infectiously optimistic and nice to be around. It's been too long, Angler. I got the good news about the shipment back from the, what was that little town, Claybottom? The pottery you were sent out to get? I didn't think you'd be finding anything, but let me tell you, that certainly raised a stir back home.
How did the wedding go?
Wonderfully. It was the centerpiece of the whole thing. You should have seen the matriarch's face.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be seeing her soon enough.
Well, don't worry too much. I think she's gotten most of the anger out of her system these days. You gave her enough lead time to find other problems to get mad about.
She will never be not angry. We both know this. That's why I went out there in the first place. But hey,
she'll never not be angry. Aim it elsewhere.
True. Speaking of me aiming anger elsewhere, we need to have someone follow that gentleman over there to make sure that he doesn't kill someone when he gets the opportunity. I will.
Oh, that little petty tyrant, don't worry about it. He's probably going to spend the next 3 hours on the boat. You'll have plenty of time to make sure. You can just do whatever you need to make sure he just waves a hand. So long as, you follow the usual protocols.
Camera pans over, boat has docked, Milan has cornered this guy and is shoving all sorts of paperwork and not even letting him get a word in.
Yeah, you are handing him like a solid 5 feet of condensed paperwork about the shipping manifests, the logs of the boat you've been to, new updates to the roads out in the 100 Kingdoms. Just all of the backlog paperwork you had for the realm is just entering his hands at once.
Applications for pilgrims permits for all of Repose and his followers. Secondary
registration for the boat.
Yep.
He opens his mouth to start asking for the paperwork, and then you drop 20 pounds of paper in his hands, and he just is like, ah!
And I am going through each and every one of them, and they are all there in triplicate, signed, of course.
He's like flicking through them very quickly, just scowling. This is the unhappiest you have ever seen a human being be at seeing that someone is doing their job correctly. You're not entirely sure what Angler said or did to this man, but man.
I absolutely know this person and know what's going on here.
Yeah, you don't know the specifics, but you know what's happening, and it's great.
Probably through the Brotherhood, you could probably feel a feeling of intense satisfaction from Angler.
For both of them, probably.
Fair. Fair. Anywho, Angler will turn back to his house member and say, all right, how bad is it here?
Well, Menemen is saying that the Empress would have, in her dear, honest, final wishes, if he really has departed to the great cycle above, would you really argue that Menemen would not be the Empress's sole and chosen heir?
He almost says a glib reply and then stops and he goes, you know what? We'll see how that turns out, but perhaps we should have a talk in the, I guess we say, chapter house or what have you in this place.
He
I'm
nods.
guessing we'd have a chapter house of some kind. Also,
She would burn it all down
Club is
first.
good at- Yeah. Also, yes, I need to make sure we get access to our prisoner real quick to take care of that.
Of course, of course. It wouldn't be uncouth to comment further on the greatest dynastic politics in the open air. It's always a bit unhail for the Constitution.
I can count no less than 23 people watching us right now.
And 23 people already know exactly how I feel on the matter.
True.
Anyway, let's take a look at that new brotherhood of yours. I've been looking forward to meeting them from the hearing of it.
Of course, and I will gladly introduce all of them, or let them introduce themselves as they come off the ship. It's a ship, it's not a boat. Ship, and come down the gangplank next to the wonderfully irate magistrate.
Has stormed over to a table over by the boat and is just going through the stack one paper at a time, scanning for a single matter out of place and getting increasingly frustrated. No, they're all perfect. Damn it!
I sneak out of the boat immediately.
Like, sneak as in not seen by Angler's friend, or...
Yeah, I'm already doing the sneaking thing.
Okay.
Well, I will throw in my Yakuman card, though, I guess, from the crowd.
Roll me dexterity stealth. And then roll me 4d10 as a separate pool.
No, hold on.
This would actually be a good place for you
so-
to be a box, now that I'm thinking about it. Amazing.
Yeah, no, this is back to the original use of the Octo Camo of box. Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
get +3. Yeah, I get +3 probably.
yeah, you can put the
Stealth.
+3 for being stealth.
Yeah, just roll 3 more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah.
Wow. 5 successes is still, any casual observer is not seeing shit. You just kind of casually walk through the blind spots as people are talking, weave your way onto the deck, and then just poof into a box. And just use your natural instincts of how many people are really paying attention to just kind of start scooting your way through the docking district. Usually you have discovered, because this is like 3 or 4 times as dense with people as the Grey Falls docks, as long as you look like you're being pushed by somebody, there's not too many eyes that cast your way like, wait, what? So long as it's like,
Is that crate
Laws-
just skipping along the ground next to the cart? Weird.
is somebody like pushing or dragging that? Did that fall off the cart, but it was still tethered? Oh, whatever. I'm busy.
It don't
I'm
matter.
glad that Yang has inadvertently created prop hunt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Milan walks back past the magistrate, whose hat is now basically just kind of jiggling at and Repose. Yeah, that would leave Repose and Old Man, and then Obsidian hiding in his room, nobody's home, etc.
Propose is actually sitting quietly on the ship, leading his crew in meditation and morning observances, and actually would have arranged with our 2 gentlemen for them to go to one of the temples of the city and exercise their judge of character to find an appropriate representative of the temple to actually come out and greet him and receive his group of the island, as he is here on temple business.
Mm-hmm.
And is actually a little bit making a deliberate showing of not engaging with the secular legal structure that is currently on display over there. We have our
There
own
is-
other laws that are different from yours, Mr. Tall Hat Man.
There is a moment where he pauses in his like additional duties that are being declared, and he's like, "Aha!" There's like, as Repose is casually casting an eye over, and Milan is just instinctually realizes it when it happens. He feels like, "Oh, I've got him. They've got a priest. They're on a holy mission. They didn't. Fuck! That's not our jurisdiction. I was so close."
Slides the permit for pilgrims into his face once again.
Ah! But yeah.
And I actually have to step away for a moment so folks can resolve other meeting things, and then I will see about disembarking when I get back.
Hey, Darren, what's the distance on wind carries words?
Miles at Essence 3, I believe.
Miles?
Yeah, you're good.
No, I more meant like, hey, would Obsidian just be able to go back through the portal?
No.
Yeah, I figured as much. Thought I'd ask though.
Yeah, no, not that far.
Yeah.
So Agon would probably take Angler and Milan if they mentioned Repose's request.
Yeah, Milan was going to take care of Propose's request of getting a
Angler and Agon would probably retire to one of the local Nellens' aligned tea houses. Because this is the Imperial City. Every building has got at least either a great house's patronage or very, very, very carefully maintained neutrality. So you would go and find, let us say, Ladal Sharon, young woman with a shorn head, looks pretty fresh, dragon-blooded. Not directly in charge, but clearly this is a kind of a routine thing that it's like, okay, yeah, let the new kid go handle that. She's dressed up in stark, kind of stark white robes, air aspect. And upon the explanation of what's going on, gives you a bow and is like, of course, I would certainly be willing to assist you with welcoming new patrons and new pilgrims to the Blessed Isle. So the Sharon goes back and kind of curiously leans over, looking around at the boats. So where are these from? What part of the outlying territories?
we are coming from the 100 Kingdoms and specifically Grey Falls.
Really? Wow, that's a long way away. They really must be quite devout to be coming out this far for a pilgrimage.
It is Rising Earth, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is Rising Earth, of course. They had wished to make a pilgrimage to the center.
Well, I wish them nothing but a wonderful experience upon their pilgrimage on the Isle, and I just kind of is babbling a little bit. Very clearly, is kind of new at this.
Okay, I am back. You have found baby?
I have found you a baby.
It is her name is Lidal Sharon, Charin, and it is very clearly okay, we're not sending out anybody important to do this, but it still needs to be a dragon blood. Send the new kid. So mentioned that, oh, you're out from the 100 Kingdoms? Wow, that's a far way away. They must be really devout. So approaches the boat, looks up, and is briefly kind of starry-eyed when she sees Repose, of just a moment of like, oh, wow. Just the general, complete, relaxed, composure of meditation leading the group in prayer before straightening herself up and remembering, right, I need to like look important and stoic and all these things as well. Then kind of steeples her hands together. In the name of the 5 elemental dragons, I welcome you, itinerant priest, and pilgrims, to the Blessed Isle.
All right, Repose will stand, compose himself. The crew will probably, arrange some items that need to be at the ready for the conduct of this.
Mhm.
And Rose will kind of glide over to the edge of the boat. And at that point in things, probably, actually be up on the plank and be approaching the
Mhm.
the edge of the dock. And after a moment of this, wordless observance to himself about something, he will look up to the youth here. Probably spend a moment ineffably considering the vibe here, the message being sent by sending out the baby.
She seems to be earnestly pretty into it.
Ultimately settle on this being good omen, not bad omen.
Neutral at worst.
Neutral at worst.
She looks a little curious at the silence, but is of the appearance that this is a senior priest. I should at least let him compose himself before pressing.
Yeah, we'll suppose that he is letting a conspicuous amount of time pass as part of this, as this is now becoming a bit of a ceremony to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally prepares to speak in his odd way of speaking in old.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be understood that at this moment, on this day, with the advent of this season, that this point is the nearest that any son of my mother's has approached the center of the world, the pillar of heaven, the heart of the elemental cycle.
She
In the
bows
past
her
8
head.
centuries.
She actually bows her head in pretty deep respect with that. I give thanks to the terrestrial dragons and the celestial gods above for leading you on your path here in such an auspicious time and blessing your bloodline with the presence of the Immaculate this way.
In a less demanding era, I might devote the remainder of my life to contemplating the glorious mysteries and beauties of this blessed isle, its lands, its peoples, hearts. But such is not the age in which we dwell.
She looks genuinely kind of sad about that. It is unfortunate that not all of us are given such blessings as to dwell here and be able to reflect upon the mystery of the center with our lives. One day, perhaps I shall venture north and have my own experiences with Mela, but that will likely be quite a far away period of time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Ladal Sharin. May I ask for your name?
Among my sect, I was awarded the name of Absolute Repose.
She nods. Brother Repose, I welcome you to the island once more, and may the gods and the dragons guide your footsteps to the goals that you seek.
As a soldier of creation and a servant of the natural order, I shall see to it that my time upon this blessed isle does not disturb the dragon's peace.
She nods at that.
And yeah, that'll suffice for the big moment to arrive, and he will step ashore.
After that large moment of gravitas, and just generally leading the pilgrims quietly down the dock past the fuming magistrate, one of the crew members on the boat, the Brawlman Iron Fist, is just kind of looking over the side railing, looking up back at the top of the boat where Old Man is lurking, visibly going to if I ask him if he wants to get off the boat, is he gonna wrestle me again?
As a note here on the as Repose is actually passing by the very upset public official who's having a generally bad day. You'll just kind of, as he is walking, very deliberately and beginning just, some usual meditative droning, he's just going to allow those good and tranquil vibrations to emit down into the stone and out into the world and just kind of project relaxation and peace and roll manip presence de-escalate to just cool it.
Cool.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. One dice don't on it.
All right, I'll throw that actually. And there's 2 successes of just throwing the President's Excellency in there.
So, okay, 5 successes.
It is too nice a day to let this disturb your mood.
Like, there is a literal just a release of tension in a sputtering, just exhale groan as he leans over the desk as he realizes that he will not go to litigious court today. He will not be finding anything to get the boat on. He's just there's a minister, the Prince of the Earth minister on this boat. There is no loophole I'm catching any of you with. There is no shakedown today. There is no exercise of power today. Might as well just accept that.
Just that dawning realization of, I'm going to be able to take a decent lunch today.
I'm going to have a longer lunch, but it's not going to be full of the satisfaction of screwing somebody over so I can feel powerful with the one thing in my life I have power over. Dang it. Let me have a tiny bit of control in my horrible existence.
No.
By the way, as has been pointed out, Old Man mostly spends his time sitting on the boat and scowling at Mount Maru.
Good.
Yeah. Sharian actually looks up to see Old Man in the top of the boat. Kind of glances back to Repose. The distinguished elder at the boat's giving quite the... She, seems to not comprehend the mere concept of not regarding Mount Maru with religious awe. Giving a odd look to Mount Maru. Is he alright? Can't even bring herself to say antagonistic or angry or irritated. She's just not passing her brain, just like, what? No, that's illegal.
Don't worry about it.
My child, there are many roads which lead one nearer to wisdom. His chosen path is unique.
I see, I think. I see more than I don't, she says, not actually seeing nearly as much
Thoughtful
as she
nodding.
thinks.
Yeah, yes, good. They teach them early.
I totally understand now. Arrow pointing at does not understand the
Does not
slightest.
understand at all.
And so as we get shuffled over and unloaded, actually, there are 2 points of business that propose will actually go ahead and put forward some great respect to this child of actually, engaging them as a proper official of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Just treat them very professionally and adultly. 2 things. Firstly, he will present as a gift to his hosts for the time that he is here a sealed urn containing a sample of the rust from the pillar.
Do a quick read intentions, please.
Two.
Shirin is about to faint as you hand that to her.
Yeah,
She
there
is
will
about
be
to
there will
just
be much,
starstruck. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
there will be much serene leading up to this. That in the country from which these pilgrims hail, more new arrivals.
Hello. Welcome to Exalted. We're a little way thing put through, but welcome.
Goings on.
But
Anyway, yeah, so in the country from which these people hail, there stands a pillar, which, all right, yeah, they'll probably have it more structured out, having prepared this statement for some time, that one of the bullets of the sword of creation, after striking down the enemies of the world, landed near the country from which these people hail, and it stands there to this day as a monument to the victory of the exalted host over those who would thwart creation, as a testament to she who pulled creation from the brink in its darkest hour.
she
And
is
mentioned
like
that it has been a proven effective bane to those from beyond.
she's like very carefully attempting to seem composed, but her hands are just kind of just twitching and flapping a little bit at her sides, and she's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that's so cool, it's so cool, it's so cool. It's actual rust from the sword of creation, holy shit!
Just go ahead and preemptively write in the old list of intimacies, not even needing to activate anything to hook into the
Nah.
exceptional sympathy for other exalts. Yeah, I will protect, baby.
She just very gingerly, carefully, reverently accepts the offering and bows her head. I only wish I had something of equal value is not the right equal sacredness. Thank you. I wish I could reciprocate.
You have maintained the peace of earth and heaven on this isle, as those before who came before you, and those who will follow after. That is enough.
She just nods.
Yeah, just get that name again of this Ladal.
Ladal Shurin, Charin.
Precious baby. Protect child. And so as the kid is, after the kid has had some time to stabilize from reeling from that, just shiny relic, get to carry this home, get to submit it for approval, put it on a dais and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
That as to the matter of of the particulars of our journey to the center at this time, and it will be understandable if you can offer no immediate aid in this respect, as it is perhaps an old matter. to be determined. And he will like at some point after an appropriate amount of hemming and hawing and conveying, then don't worry about it. Get his reposeness out of like he's the very relaxed man about a lot of things. Just unfurl a scroll on which he has prepared some old calligraphy that is the signature that has already been shown on the the family blend.
Mm-hmm. Her eyes
Classic
widened.
cement, and alongside it, like a creed that he has probably recovered from the family archives. I will determine if this name still holds any meaning to those who dwell in the city. This was the brand of a companion of the founder of my sect, who, when your empress put forth her call to unite and rebuild in the aftermath of the troubling times in which they lived, he went inward to provide his aid. That was the last we'd heard of him. Since then, I would hope to make some attempt to ascertain his fate, and if possible, witness any of his surviving works.
I will do my absolute best to look through our archives and find any sort of petition or archive that would be able to narrow it out. Yes, of course. It would be the least I can do. Yes, especially if it was as a survivor of. Yes, I would be honored to assist you.
As they're presumably talking and walking for a bit, Propose will offer up further details about this. He was an Earth aspect. He was from the old center originally, but had traveled out to the threshold to take commissions for some of the daimyos of the Outlands in that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was an architect. He did a lot of work with like bridges, aqueducts, mostly waterway related stuff, but sometimes dabbled in housing, walls, fortifications.
Mm-hmm.
And just carry on for some time about relaying the stories that he has of this man.
She is just hanging on every word of this revered elder of, the, one of the most fundamentally important events of creation. Like, kind of enraptured on every bit of this story and clearly has taken this on as a personal, will probably take time off the clock to go looking for this name kind of interest.
And Propose is definitely seeing a lot of a much smaller him in the not yet snuffed enthusiasm for
not yet
learning
brutalized
and piety.
by a violence enthusiasm.
You are so righteous, baby. Sigh. Look at you
please
want
don't
to help
have
so much.
Please don't have an Azar in your life. So
Propose will otherwise be available to meet up with the crew as it happens. He will miscellaneously, until he has information about the specific goal, just kind of tour the city, see buildings, talk about how things go up, how things stay up.
So I think the plot-wise next thing would be to switch back over to Agan and Angler, who are retiring to one of the smaller tea houses that is just very overtly, this is a House Nellens tea house. This is not a thing where that you will be excluded if you're not a member of House Nellens, but like, the Mun is on the wall. The symbol is right there. It's like, the people here are either cadet family members or, patricians of an aligned interest or peasants that are just like, whatever. All the houses are going to be treating us the same way, more or less, in the Imperial City. Waluigi has not actually been removed from the boat quite yet. They are sorting things out before that happens.
I would put forth, people are allowed to try to climb the big mountain. It is a mythically difficult feat to try to do so, though. It is the biggest mountain.
Try climbing Mount Everest squared? Try climbing Olympus without protective gear. Try literal Mount Meru, the thing that it stole the name
not
of.
To climb Olympus.
Yeah.
All right, we're here. Lay it on me.
Well, Mnemen has been moving towards an overt claim for heirdom. She has not said anything along the lines of any sort of military backing or force, but it's not all that surprising that her first backer was House Pelops for any number of reasons. Mnemen and Vanif have always gotten along like a house on fire, and Pelops is looking for any excuse to get the mercantile fleet back. The rest of the houses, I'm not sure of. Our own house, you may not be surprised, is our current strategy is to hope that nobody looks at us too closely until we're made to make a choice. Honestly, we don't have that much of an interest in anybody, particularly. None of us, the matriarch doesn't want the slot, because... You think she would last very long on that throne? Like, frankly speaking, she admits that she wouldn't be able to keep this place running on her own. And he just kind of thinks to himself for a moment. Right now, and he actually does lean in for this one to talk a little quieter. Right now, the real career diplomats, let's call them, in the Great Houses, they're talking a couple of different names. As to who's going to be the big names once things get a little louder. Kind of glances back and forth. First of all, clearly is Mnemen. Second of all is Vanif. Just by pure virtue of Mnemen is going to be taking her out if that is going to be any sort of resistance to her ascending the throne. There's been grumbling that the old man Kanan, and you would recognize that as Catholic Kanan, the head of House Catholic. There's been grumbling that Catholic old man Kanan has been of two minds on whether to sit back and watch and see who he wants to back and for the most peace, or if he'll think that he himself as a contender might unify. But he's old and, well, he's a man. The traditionalists are going to want another empress, so that's two strikes against him. But he is, after Tepet's fall, arguably the most honored military commander in the entire dynasty. So anybody who wants to get a grab at the throne, if it gets violent, and that if Old Man Kanan is not on their side, they're going to be having a hell of a time.
This is just a process question. Does Old Man Kanan have any daughters that he might be magistrate or what have you through them?
Not particularly. His children are all established in other places, in satrapies and other places. Basically, the situation with his heirs is that none of them would be able to have the same, like, the entire case for Catholic Kanan is, I am the best general in the realm. Do you really want this to go peacefully while we wait for Big Red to come back and make sure if she's dead, or do you want me to make this a problem?
Okay, thank you.
And there's been grumbling from House Cesis, as there always is. They... wily bastards, I never know what they're going to be doing, but... Rhaenyra, and he wouldn't explain this, the head of the current matriarch of House Cesis, Rhaenyra is married to one of the sons of the Empress. And I don't trust them further than I can throw them. And, well, I can't throw people nearly as far as, hell, you, probably.
Now, yes. A year ago, no.
I noticed that you've been working out, by the way. You look good.
Thanks. It's a silver lining to the trip. Now, Caesar and Memnon, their lands are right next to each other. What kind of trouble is brewing between the two of them at, I cannot read the name of that town that's on their border?
I think
There is
that's...
a clean version of the map also in the Discord.
Thank you. Can I pull that up? But while I'm pointing out that town.
Unclear. Rainia's always been a weird one. And again, as actually Yankee Ice is bringing up in chat is a very good point. A lot of this conversation between you and Agon is not going to actually involve a lot of explaining because both of you know a lot of the political context, but for the sake of the rest of the players in the
As you
audience-
already know.
Yes, as you already know.
Fuck off, newbie. Sorry, he knows that pisses
yeah.
me off.
Rainia is the formal head, like the formal face of House Cesis. House Cesis is run by what is called the Masked Council, which is basically they're nicknamed House CIA for a reason. It is the deniable, nobody knows who is the true members of the council behind the masks, etc., mumble. House Cesis Rainia has been an outlier of the usual figureheads of House Cesis in the terms that she fucking hates them. She has made no actual bones about the fact that she doesn't like that her house is pinned as house espionage and backstabbing. She is a almost distressingly straight shooter for the house whose big claim to fame is espionage. So, in terms of like, oh, you're a weird one, and she's always been a weird one, is like she's barely a member of House Cesis in terms of the stereotyping or the upbringing. The thought of it is
now I know that you and I have lived our entire lives on this island, but now we are here at the cafe in front of everyone. I will tell you the secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
was that
the whole
Lazzuto?
operation is run by Cesis Lazzuto.
But
Must have been hearing things.
it's a very, you just kind of like, no one's knowing. We can't rule out that Rainia is going to be doing something to get to the throne. She's too straightforward. But there's no territorial disputes between her and Mnemen. But the fact that she hasn't said anything for or against Mnemen, I mean, the woman usually just... You know what she's thinking at any given time, which means that her not talking about this means that she's still deciding. And I don't know which way she's going to be swinging. Or maybe she's already decided, and the Masked Council has her by about the scruff of the neck.
What I'm worried is that they're going to let the big dogs, quote unquote, fight first. And then as soon as they
Sweep in afterwards and clean up the mess and take the throne themselves. Yeah, that's... Agon is just nodding. Yeah, no, that was what I was thinking, but again... That feels like almost too obvious, but sometimes when your whole thing is not being obvious, the obvious punch is the one you least expect. Kind of thinks to himself for a moment,
What about
takes
Ladal?
a sip of his tea. Fucked if I even know what's happening with Ladal. The moment the Grand Admiral at the party mentioned that she was backing Mnemen's back, I was expecting the Ladal all there to just jump up and immediately ask for marching orders, but they didn't say anything. And you know what has me fucking worried? And this is another bit of context that would not necessarily need a lot of spelling out between you two. House Nellens and House Ladal hate each other. House Ladal absolutely despises House Nellens for taking the name of their founder and putting it on a bunch of what they see as jumped up, barely even dragon-blooded, and House Nellens doesn't like House Ladal for being a bunch of fanatical zealots that are kind of stick up their ass about things. Or no, Cesis and Ladal both have grudges relating to the founding, but Ladal doesn't like Nellens for territorial reasons more. I think it might be Cesis that had the one with the founding. This is a crossed wire in my head right now, but
It's fine.
there is considerable reason Ladal does not like House Nellens. It is not an impenetrable barrier like between... There is no universe in which Mnemen and Regara are going to be on the same side, but it's not too far from that. It is... There will be a considerable rift to cross on that.
And what about House Tepet? He's over there.
Agon would be getting to that in a sec, but
Just the one survivor of House to Pet is over there sitting alone.
crying.
That's him over there. You can wave at him.
Yeah, Nellen's territory was carved off of Ladal originally, and Tepet, but that's less of a problem now.
Tepet's in decline.
So, Ladal... This is one where he actually puts down the teacup and leans in all the way to be very quiet. I'm worried Ladal hasn't said anything, because they're waiting to see what we do, and they side with the other side so they can get their territory back.
Oh, that's fantastic. We might need to... Okay, that's something we're going to have to think on.
Now, I'm not the matriarch, of course, nor am I the most delicate diplomat, as you clearly. Agon, just to give a little backstory, because you two know each other a fair bit, Agon is a diplomat, but Agon is more the diplomat you send to the fun parties. Agon has spent most of his official duties going to House Sinis soirees kind of thing and wheedling information out of people while they're fucked up on all sorts of things. Agon is the sort of diplomat you send in to be the charming, friendly, and smiling face who is also about as subtle as a hammer, but he doesn't need to be very subtle because he's here to be your friend.
Oh, he's Bob from Battletech. Okay, I know who that you're talking about now. That's great.
So, yeah, he's basically going, look, we might be able to get Ladal against whoever we end up siding with. We might end up on the same side for the same reasons, but we're going to need to defang their instincts as to viewing this as a power grab first. Right now, the fact that they're not siding with Menemen means that the religion aspect of whatever war is going to be coming up, and that is the first time Agon has actually openly said the word war. Whatever this is that's going to be coming up, Ladal is not thinking about religion first, and that might be the first time that's ever happened to them in about 5 centuries. They're looking at this as a political fight, which means that we're the most likely target, us or Tepet, or both. I mean, technically speaking, if we both gang up on Tepet, that might disarm them, but that's just viewing it as a how do we get ahead in the land grab territory part of this, not how do we minimize the number of people dying part of this, which you and I are on the same mind of that one.
What about the commons? For reference for people who might not know, House Nellens is fairly well liked by the mortal members of the entire island because House Nellens is ruled mostly by mortals. So
yeah, patricians have a huge say, and even some of the common people have input via being able to proclaim their, interests and, complaints. But, like, the patricians, who are usually, like, the middle class, but middle in air quotes, while they are way underneath the aristocratic class, are actually a vital part of the governing body of Nellens, which is an enormous reason why House Nellens is seen as a bunch of chumps. But as for the commons don't know what to think right now. Commons don't want to be seen right now. Commons think that if they say anything out loud too loud in a party, that we're going to have the first knife to our throat. If Venif doesn't get it first, of course.
all right, that's about what I expected, and at the same time, infinitely worse.
Look, I'm not sugarcoating any of this.
I know, and that's why you have the position you do.
If you want my best bet, if things are going on the current trajectory that they are now, we've got a year. Maybe 2. I expect that the gist of the lines will be drawn by calibration, even if the fighting doesn't start until a little longer than that.
Oh, that poor Ladal member all by themselves. Totally not paying attention to us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where's the matriarch now? Is she here? Or is she back in our holdings?
She's back in Juice.
she's gonna want to see me. All right.
She didn't
is
know
there
you were
any-
coming.
I know, but we have other things taken care of around here. We need to take care of first. Points to person in the corner.
Mhm.
After that, I might need to get expedience jurisdiction from the Minister of Transportation. Oh, hey, he's right here to head home quickly via faster transportation than normal.
Perks of friends in high places, no matter how gutted their departments are.
How is that the Ministry of Transportation's department doing right now?
Oh boy. Feel like I should be talking to your friend about that before anything happens.
Well, that's kind of that's fair. That's why I brought it up so that when you wait, hold on, is Milan sitting right here? Or is it just the two of
Milan's
us?
Milan can probably be coming. You could like send a wind carried word to have Milan come in from the dock. I was assuming that they were
Yeah,
handing.
I wanted to make sure it was just the two. Yeah, then I would probably let me call him out on this one because he just needs to get it from a person here rather than secondhand from me.
Yep.
Whisper.
Okay.
Alright.
And
Milan enters this bar.
all right. For
Tavern.
the rest, Yang is still on a sneaking mission, which I will get back to after this conversation. Repose is still doing the religious walkabout. If you want to get involved in these conversations, you can just walk into the bar. And Old Man is Old Manning, and Obsidian. I have something that will be coming up for you. So, eventually,
Intriguing.
soon. 5 days darkness is the god of calibration and the shadow of the sun. Despite being his evil twin, still actually kind of cool because it turns out when you make the god of absolute virtue evil, it just kind of turns him into a punk. At worst.
I will create the opposite of the sun. Oh wait, it's also very pleasant.
How the hell did that happen? I'm just that good. Damn it.
Oh, is this like the reverse emperor? Take over heaven, take over hell.
Yeah, no, like the 5 Days Darkness was one of the Ebon Dragon's ideas, and didn't quite go with the plan.
It's not really the reverse Emperor because Emperor of Heaven is actually good and benevolent. They just fucking hate him.
Yeah, they just show up.
Remember,
and you're
they walk up to Emperor of the Heaven and he's like, "Oh man, shit, fuck. I'm really sorry, you guys. You want eternal life and endless happiness? Fuck you, old man."
Hey, you're the other half of the soul of the bad guy, right? Yeah, but I'm the part that realizes I was being a huge dick. Can I make it up to you? Die! Well, okay. If we're gonna do this. But yeah, so
Moving on.
Milan comes in, sees Agon, just kind of wave a hand. Welcome back home, Minister. Things have gotten interesting in your absence.
As I've heard.
Gestures for Milan to take a seat. There's a couple of eyes glancing around in the house of just like, oh, well, Minister's here, okay. But this is the docks of the Imperial City. It is not unheard of to see the matriarchs just in a tea house just around. So it's just, you get a couple of glances and it's just like, oh, okay.
Nod to the Ladal agent, nod to the Sinus agent.
The Sinus agent actually tips her hat at you for a moment, but the Agon looks back. So look. First of all, personally speaking, love what you did with the roads. Loved that idea. Convincing the Empress to make that public, like turning it off the lease and taking it entirely out of the houses to make it a single unified thing, genius. Brilliant. Wonderful. Amazing.
There is a warm smile on Milan's face.
There's not a warm smile on my face as I know what's coming.
Problem is, there have been filings in the deliberative from, let me count them, 9 great houses about the jurisdiction of the roads. Now that the Empress is gone, and the deliberative is taking more proactive action and interpreting the will of her infallible divinity and her, immaculate wisdom and so forth. They are all claiming that in absence of the Empress's ability to unilaterally declare a lease valid or invalid, or break it, or adjust it, or change the taxes, or change the... Effectively, what he's getting at is explaining again, the Empress was the literal only landlord in the entire Blessed Isle. No one owned land, not even the heads of the houses. She did. And that was her big, basically, just big red button of she really hated somebody or really liked them, was just like, oh, you don't own land anymore. You're not allowed to own the land. You don't have any of that anymore. That's not yours. And... and what Milan did was basically convince the Empress, one of the actually only time Milan ever saw the Empress in person, shortly after being elevated to Minister of Transportation, was to convince her that instead of having the roads be managed internally within prefectures by prefects and governors, to turn them into a public system of roads within a single bureau of jurisdiction under the Ministry of Transportation.
Which would then, in turn, skip the minister level and provide all control and management to it directly to the local areas.
Yes.
Yep.
And for Milan, this was a wonderful idea because, hey, it's going to avoid graft and corruption. It's going to make it more easily maintained. It's going to be decentralized. It's going to be wonderful. To the Big Red, it sounded hysterical because it was a way to cut the legs out from under her kids. Milan didn't realize that until a couple of years later.
Yeah, just...
But Milan did exactly the sort of thing Baby House was for.
To innocently come up with an idea that Grandma can be like, yes, that's a wonderful idea. Let's just do that. And
Grandma,
just
why don't we
chop
nationalize the highways? Good idea, child.
See, this baby said that, not me. Let me just take those highways from you, all my babies. And everybody looks at the baby
glance
man.
back over to my intimacy of Big Red.
Your intimacy to the Empress is one of my favorites on any character sheet, by the way. Why don't you read that one out loud?
Her scarletness, great grandma. This is all your fault.
Yup. So, yeah, Agon is just like, now that she's gone, and everybody's arguing about what the hell we do about land leases, because all the leases are starting to come into a place where they would normally be under their yearly reviews by the Empress, and she's not here. This means that the jurisdiction of the roads, Immaculate Dragons know all the other things too, are suddenly under a lot more contention because the Deliberative has decided that they have the jurisdiction over leases in her absence. No one is happy about this, but nobody has the clout to actually say that they were the ones who would be inheriting that privilege of the Empress's. So, this has led to, let's call it, he stops and thinks for a moment, and is clearly, like, sorting through a couple of different languages in his head. Best way I can describe it is, attempting to murder with words. And the roads are kind of the center of a lot of those arguments. It's a bit of a rallying point for everyone against, I can't say you directly.
But you.
I can't say your ministry.
Yes.
And your ministry does happen to have the name Venif tied onto it. And there are a lot of people looking over at Venif already, having a couple of excuses. He's just kind of puts his palms up, kind of shrugging, hands up, just kind of like... It's not a great situation. The ministry has been kind of under bureaucratic assault for the past 6 months. They're making it work. They still have this Empress's writ. but we'll see what the deliberative does, and how they rule on the roads may end up being kind of important for who sides with who.
Seems our instincts were correct on that matter. We had foreseen this before I had left to the east.
Yeah, I personally noticed that a lot of your friends had come back. I'll let you know that this was before I actually knew that you were hanging around with Angler, so I can't say it was a personal favor or anything. It was more a way of just keeping abreast of what was happening. But I have been keeping an eye on the ministry. It's not escalated to killing yet. I'll give him that.
No, there's too much decorum and paperwork before we would get to that.
Now, I can't honestly give advice to somebody above my station in the Thousand Scales, but if you were to, ask me for my opinion, I would very humbly suggest that the timing of the Minister of Transportation coming back in would be auspicious to use some time to go visit the deliberative and personally make a couple of statements, either to protect the current status quo or find a way out of it that doesn't put a target on your grandmother's head.
Silent nod.
As for other business regarding your ministry, I'm actually looking through my notes very quickly to remember if we gave that minister above you from House Pelops a full name. I don't think we did.
Douchebag.
I want to say I had come up with the name Derek.
Right. You had Derek, and then you dropped that in intimacy.
Because
then we reapplied it to the Pelops Derek.
Yeah.
Because we realized that's like a fucking canon compliant dynast name.
Derek.
Yeah,
Derek.
Minister Derek above you has been quite animated, let's call it, in deliberative discussions about cutting further funding from you, as clearly, how did he put it? His wastrel was clearly not committed to the will of the Scarlet Empress. If he's going to go out on a 6-month pleasure cruise out to a satrapy in the east rather than maintain his own holdings, then perhaps it should go back into the holdings of those who are here and live here. Think it was something along those lines? I didn't internalize it all. It's all kind of devolved into I'm an asshole.
There is a pause in the air, followed by the shattering of a cup as Milan has clenched his tea mug so hard it has shattered.
There is a brief silence in the chatter of the tea house, but this is not a completely uncommon occurrence, so this is more a pause of, okay, is this about to escalate into violence, or is somebody keeping their cool?
We're fine. Silently hands over his tea to Milan.
Startle.
And then
Milan starts gripping the new teacup again.
As Milan unclenches his fist, there are porcelain shards embedded about halfway through his hand. That hurts quite a lot, actually.
Pardon me a moment. Ow.
Hey, what's your resistance at?
Resistance is...
Decent, if I remember?
I want to say 2. Resistance 2.
Resistance 2 from the not falling asleep training. Yeah, roll me stamina resistance to see how well you can manage the wound without just kind of going in public. Okay,
there is a brief whimper of that hurt.
Yeah, it's not a very dignified response, but it's not a horrible scream, and also you're able to remove them well enough that it is one lethal damage, and you've got it bandaged up. Next time you meet up with Yang, you can get that fixed.
I will mark it as 1.
Yeah, scalding hot tea plus porcelain shards in hand. It was an unpleasant experience.
I can't believe a tea shop stabbed Milan.
Yang is gonna have to kill the entire tea shop.
No.
Not the people, just the building.
I like this
A
plan.
teacup just did more damage to our squad than the Bronze Axeman's army did.
Yes, it did! It sure fucking did. I was waiting for one of you to comment that this is one of the only times any of you have taken damage.
Once again, proving that the greatest threat to our party is ourselves.
Correct.
Yes. Very true.
But yeah, Agan just kind of gives a sympathetic look over to Milan of,
Well, if that double-talking, two-faced wastrel, was that the word he used to describe me?
I believe so, yes.
Well, given that I had been sent out there under his assignment...
Yeah, funny how he didn't mention that, did he?
Nope, of course not. I'll have to take a trip to the deliberative soon.
I'd sharpen up your rhetoric. The days of them being a bunch of half-dead suits and just kind of staring glass eyes, arguing amongst themselves as to who gets to make a suggestion to the Empress, yeah, that's stopped by now. Anybody who is not actually willing to cut and draw blood is not opening their mouth anymore in the deliberative.
There is a wry grin that forms on Milan's face of, this will be fun.
And I think with that, we can cut over to, meanwhile, Yang. Yang's sneaking mission. Is there a particular reconnaissance goal? Meeting up with people, finding a way to sneakily, case out where he's going to be taken?
No, well, I guess maybe case out where he's going to be taken, but I'm basically just going to be tailing Sinus no matter where he is for the next ever, pretty much.
Right.
Probably-
So right now he's currently I don't remember. Did you take him into the tea shop, or is he still in the boat?
In the tea shop under surveillance because this is the safest place I can have him away from him accidentally dying on the way back to his people. Not from our people, from somebody else.
From anybody else who wants a slice of it.
And because I would just want to make sure of this, I would hand wave that we sent notice to his family members. You need to pick him up.
No. So, okay, so Yang would probably be a box outside the tea shop doing Overwatch to see if there's anybody suspicious.
Is anyone who's going to come try and help his stupid ass or something?
Which, roll me perception awareness.
I think that's just 10 now.
It may be, and if you have any charms that augment that, you can apply those as well.
Oops. No, that's just Maggot 7. Wait, is that?
No, the second roll worked.
Yeah, that was properly formatted.
Yeah, that's just 2 7s and 2 successes. I guess we don't need the S technically, but no, so the S I think's
The
formats.
S sorts them,
Yeah.
which makes it easier to spot your tens.
You are basically prying your eyes across the crowd, watching for anybody who's approaching. You notice a couple of people with them on of House Sinus to just kind of quietly coming up to each other and talking, giving a glance to the tea house, breaking up, bringing in a couple of other people talking, looking to the tea house, waiting. And there's eventually a group of about 4 or 5 of them that start to arrive, and it looks like the head of it is a young woman who you recognize her eyes, not from a person, but the sort of eyes that were in House of Celsi and the worst parts of the House Sinus that you were raised in. This is not a woman to cross in any way.
Wait. I'm going to read intentions. Are they here to kill him or kidnap him?
Go ahead and read intentions, yeah.
What is read intentions?
Wits socialize. I believe yours is a total of 5. And I'm going to let you apply danger sense to that, so it's 6.
Alright, 6d10.
Alright, so you get the feeling looking at her that they're going to say that they are here to take him, and then they're going to kill him, but something in your gut tells you that's not the sort of kill you want. This is not... There's a clean kill, and then there's the bad kill. This is not a on-the-books kill. This is a personal grudge kill coming, and that's probably not going to be the kind that you support. So their likely plan is to come in saying that they are the official pickup squad, and then probably take him to a warehouse somewhere and do things that I would rather not put on camera.
Bad things.
I guess I won't
Yes.
and just will notify, like, there's a fall squad coming.
You have wind carried words, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got Kodak and when carried words.
Yeah, I would probably
Understood.
relay the fact of, like, okay, so there's going to be some guys asking for him. They're going to murder him in a not cool way. Just, make some shit up. I don't know. You'll figure it out.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Milan. Did you get that?
I got it. Excuse me.
Agon raises an eyebrow.
I have
Yeah,
matters
invited
back
guests.
at the boat to attend to. My apologies. Thank you for your hospitality.
Agon very quietly slips a hand inside of his gi. And from Agon, like, he's reaching for, like, knuckles, like iron knuckles. Like, gives you a look of, do I need these or do I take my hands back out?
I think you should take those back out, slip out the back, and see if you can go notify members of our house to be ready, but don't move yet.
All right, got it. You take care of yourself.
We might need to make a demonstration.
Well, you've always been good at that.
Just wait. It's going to be a whole lot better than it was
I'm
before.
not going to traitor my own house. Nope.
Well, okay, actually, roll me intelligence bureaucracy, Yang.
Fuck even is my bureaucracy.
What? None, it looks like. So you'd be rolling a 5. Hey, if these people are coming in off the Sinus books to do a revenge murder when this should be going to the Sinus elders, these people are going to be in so much shit if they get found out. So if you overtly acted against them as Sinus Yang, you would win, like, fucking brownie points from your house, because you would be going against vigilantes trying to defy how this should be going with your elders. Like, these are people acting off the books. You could jump them and your elders would take your side.
In public, you thwart the vigilantes. Then in private, you are the vigilante. It's win-win.
Yeah, I know. I'll wear my skeleton breaker hat.
Your what?
My broken skeleton hat. Sinus broken
Dr.
skeleton.
Bones.
Oh, fractured Sinus broken ass.
Yeah, Sinus broken ass. And I'll just sneak into the tea house and just, like, put myself into position as him, so when they open the door, I can start lying.
Yeah. Just your presence alone might be an intimidation factor on them. So, as they walk in, also a quick question. Would wind carried words be sent out to any other members of the Hearth about this?
All of them, just so that they know what's up.
You never know.
Alright. Any particular reactions from Repose, Old Man, or Obsidian?
Repose will meander back toward the docks, but will not urgently move unless, like, a full-on alarm is raised.
Okay.
Obsidian doesn't move.
Alright.
I'm staying on the boat.
Good impression of Old Man. All right, so the crew walk in, and there is an immediate sort of the pull in a bar when someone walks in, and it's just like, oh, you're here for a fight. And there is the group of kind of, assorted goons behind the one woman in front, and she locks eyes on Lysaea before flicking over back to Angler, and then with a look of just across the table to the very Sinismon prominently displayed on the front of your clothing, fractured ass disguise.
Ah, hello.
Hello, brother.
What brings
Yeah.
you to my doorstep?
We had heard that you had been bringing back one of the traitors from the threshold, and we were here to bring them into custody so they could be transported to Pangu.
That's quite a thing you've heard.
Actually, hang on. Roll me manipulation. No, larceny is not always the lying skill. Manipulation larceny actually would actually still fit here.
I think I'm good at that.
Yeah. That is 8.
Yeah, and larcenates reasonably well.
Eh.
There is the look across your face of kind of getting smacked of like, wait, hang on, fuck. As you realize, as you mumble that, whether or not Yang had consciously realized that, Angler as well as, wait, how the fuck did you hear about this? We didn't send for you. And it is the clear appearance on her face of, oh fuck, you busted us not being the ones you sent for. And then the realization of, wait, hang on, you may or may not have known that. Oh god, did we just...
Now, you're fueled by quite a few emotions, young one, I imagine. I will offer you one thing for your audacity in storming my fucking tea house. You may swear at him once and then leave promptly.
Presence performance with the 2 dice stunt of just, god damn.
Charisma.
Yeah.
I'll give you willpower.
Charisma performance.
No, charisma performance.
Yeah, I
Oh,
keep
okay, so-
doing the thing where I think in World of Darkness terms.
Whatever. One more then. Another. Okay, so 4 successes, I guess.
There is this complete look of incomprehension on the woman's face of, number 1, I've been had. Number 2, I've been had in the house of, like, the tea house of another house in front of the crowd. Number 3, you're calling this your tea house? This is Nellen's. You're Sinis. What the hell are you doing here? How did we get outplayed this bad? Like, this has turned into a simple in-out, get them humiliation kind of thing, into a public, just utter humiliation for her and all of her assigned hands. Like, I thank you, Elder, for your hospitality and your graciousness in such a generous offer. However, I must say that I will not take you up on that offer towards him. I will, however, tell you to fuck yourself with the most painful cactus that you can find.
Yeah.
And I bid you a good day. Turns with just the men and women behind her, just gives them a look of just dial down the violence. We're leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving. I'm not owned. We're leaving. I'm not owned. It just immediately just kind of scurries out.
Having not spoken in that entire conversation, Angler was just writing down word for word everything that they said, rips off a piece of paper, hands it to Yang, and says, "You can do with that as you will."
None of this matters.
I thought as much, but in case you really wanted to dig it in.
Lysaea is looking at Yang just like, what the you could, like, the look to both Angler and Yang is just, you could have let me die an even more painful death, and you're not. What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you have standards?
It would have taken you for you to die, and that time you might have look, just one, just like bam, done. That's it. That's all it takes. You really want to be
Still blind and all that fun stuff.
Ugh.
You said he only got muted and
You
like
can still hear, right?
Blind
What?
and mute, and he's blind and deaf actually.
you only said touch and mute, and I think deaf.
I meant to put the blind on, but you can see. That's fine. That's fair. The mute and deaf is the much more important thing.
Yeah.
Doctor.
If he was if he was blind, he would be basically unable to move anywhere
Fair.
without being frog marched.
Yang.
Like blind and no touch is the problem. Like if he had one or the other, it could manage it, but you might as well
he would be able to see.
carting
but
If
he
you
wouldn't be
completely
able-
sensory deprive him, you are just going to be carrying the body around rather than having him, walk.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
There's no real reason to take away touch if we're being real here.
touch is tied to one of them. I can't pick and choose there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. Mute is also removes touch reflexively. That is tied to the charm. If I can retcon that, if you want to do all 5 individually, I will let you just do.
I will let him be able to see. That makes sense to be able for him to get
No,
around.
no. What I'm saying is, if you don't want him, if you want him to have touch as well, if you just
sure,
wouldn't see him,
yeah.
yeah. So just basically, all you need is muted and deafened.
Yes.
Okay, because like if the reason for that was because the mechanics of the charm meant that's dumb. You can just actually, because there is no reason to remove proprioception and touch.
At this point, I'm going to go over to Yang and present my bloodied hand. I need a slight patch up.
How the fuck did that happen?
I got angry. Forgot I was holding a teacup.
And it stabbed you?
I stabbed
Yes.
myself.
That was rude to the teacup. Well, there's still shards of port. Hold on. Yeah, fine. Let me see this.
Yeah, there's a sliver of porcelain that Milan missed in there.
When's the last time I actually cast healing to anything?
You can either do first aid to downgrade it, or you can use your charm for healing. That would be in the medicine charms.
Let's see. What is this? God.
We haven't been in a fight in a while that we've been injured.
That's the one. Yeah.
That was going to be a fight if Yang hadn't thought on his feet.
Okay, actually, I thought I had an Essence 2 healing thing. Oh, Grievous Wound Alteration Energy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let's see, 1 wood power exchange. Okay, I could just actually, intelligence plus bills. So, 10d10. You're fine.
Yeah.
Flex my
Plucks
hand a
out.
bit.
Plucks out the remainders, waves a hand, wood essence flows into your hand. The natural closing process just snaps it shut. Still a little tender, but...
Oh, that's much better. That's gonna sting for a little while.
Don't crush teacups with your hands again.
I'll take that to note, Doc.
Or harden your hands.
Crush more teacups until it stops hurting.
Why do you still have baby hands?
Says the talking rock.
Because I'm wind boss.
They are wind bosses, true.
Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile, back on the boat, Old Man basically saw the outside version of that whole thing from the crow's nest, seeing the kind of mob squad,
I guess
psych themselves up.
When was the last time you killed a whale, Newbie? When was the last time you killed a whale, newbie?
Newbie?
Catching you on this again, motherfucker.
I haven't.
Oh, then I guess we don't have a crow's nest, do we?
Oh my god.
On the way back, we've got to chase a whale.
We can just have a crow's nest with.
I will have Guan Yung sleep in that damn thing to call it a crow's nest before I'll have you kill a whale to get it named a crow's nest.
Not kill.
Not going
Hey,
well.
I don't know. We
can
could
still
really
stay
fuck up a
high.
whale, though.
We could.
Yeah, we really could. Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard at all.
What's the whale? The whale has nothing. The whale is innocent.
The whale is full of oil. That's good stuff.
We're gonna piss off, oh god, any number of big spirit.
A small
I was
whale.
thinking we don't have to kill said whale. We could just be chasing to go, hey, what's up, spirit of whatever? It's nice to talk to you. Okay, bye.
Anyway, now that I thoroughly derailed you, what's up?
I was saying that, first of all, Old Man saw that whole scene with Yang in terms of the goon squad outside the tea house psyching themselves up to do a murder, going inside after Yang surreptitiously slips in, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, just rushing back out in red-faced, embarrassed, just like, I'm not owned, I'm furious, I'm not owned, God, no, ah! It is a expression and emotion that Old Man is very familiar with being on the opposite end of, usually the cause of. It is still entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly the Hearth brothers just did some shenanigans in there.
They're doing some good work.
Meanwhile, back down at the bottom of the boat, there is a knock on the door of the room that a Obsidian shield is in, before there is a voice on the other side. Hey, it's a reliable Boulder.
Come in.
Door opens up for Boulder to slip in. She kind of slicks her hair back for a moment. Sir, permission to speak freely?
Go ahead.
I'm worried about you staying in here the whole time. Not just in this... The whole... I'm not going to pry, sir. And I'm not going to be doing anything like that. But I worry that if you stay in here this entire time, you're going to go stir crazy. Or... you're going to be exactly where... if you're hiding from somebody, where are they going to look for you?
Sort of like an intense scratching the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Boulder, it's very, very kind of... These like exasperated sighs, pauses, and everything are actually happening in game.
Yeah.
This goes beyond something I don't want to do, to the point of bad things will happen to either myself or the people close to me if I step onto that island and get found out.
I understand, sir, but... I just have the feeling that if you're here... Look, I'm not like you. I don't know everything that those touched by the dragons can do, but if someone wants to find you out, and you're already here, What's stopping them from just noticing you through? She kind of waves her hands in the air. Just magic bullshit.
Well, the good thing in that note is I left the island 20 years ago and have never been back, so at this point, nobody should be looking for me. If anybody's looking for me at this point, there are bigger problems on hand than just me going onto that island.
Sir, if it's been 20 years and no one's looking for you, then why are you worried about being seen? I apologize. That was
No. It's these thoughts that run through my head of you're not entirely wrong. How old is Obsidian? I don't have an exact age, but Obsidian is somewhere between 40 and 50. Young enough that he doesn't look old for a dragon, but
young
old
for
enough,
a dragon.
old enough that he has seen some stuff occur.
Yeah.
Mr.
It is
Obsidian.
Dragon
Young-
blood, late 20s, basically.
young for dragon blood, old for people.
Yeah. Where was my thought going with this?
By dragon-blooded social norms and standards, your entire first human lifespan is your teen years.
Which is partially why Pelops Derek being a shit about Milan going out on an adventure is like, dude, that's what they do.
Extremely petty.
Yeah.
He's like 20.
He's actually 25. He's a baby.
I don't. Oh, actually, no. That's only Solars can do that. That's right.
Was
I was gonna
No.
say, like, is there any sort of timekeeping device in the room?
I mean,
Well, there's like you can
there's
see
this-
sunlight through windows.
like there is sundials. There are like simple things like hourglasses and things like
Mhm.
that. Anything like a mechanical clock is like first age stuff.
Okay, that like yeah, I don't know where technology gets in this setting still. Continue to look out the window at like where the sun is. We aren't to be here too long. If I don't hear back from my brothers in an hour or so, something may have happened. But there should be no. He stops again because it is the thing of this is a thought he has had. He shouldn't need to stay in the ship, but again, he gives
afraid.
off enough of a presence that he feels somebody would spot him if he left. He knows how much of a presence he himself gives off.
Mm-hmm. The counterpoint, like Boulder would not be able to bring up this counterpoint, but the internal narrative. Wait, what am I saying? The internal narrative. Onyx could be chiming in on this. Onyx actually kind of gives a tap mentally on Obsidian's brain, like I don't want to intrude, but I would like to speak if you are willing for me to speak. Kind of poke.
Thinks to himself, go ahead.
I believe I understand that you are worried that your distinct appearance may hasten acknowledgement of former presence. Am I correct?
Someone would recognize me. Yes.
Wouldn't? There are two elements to this equation. There is the observed and the observer. In order for the consequences that you fear to come across, yes, you are there as the observed, but this also requires the presence of the observer. I am unclear on the likelihood and the odds of the observer being present at a given place.
Word would travel. Somebody sees me. Word travels of, did you see the 6'12" man step off that boat? A description would it would get to somebody's ears.
I understand. Is there anything I can do to assist you? I don't like seeing you like this.
I'm honestly not sure. Also, like, the other thing right now out of character is, aside from just being with his hearth, Obsidian has no reason to step off this boat onto the island. He has no want.
Right. But Onyx is also seeing a friend in distress and trying to be like, I fix.
I don't have any side quests. There's no context.
It is literally there's the Inferno as far as Obsidian is concerned, and he has no reasons to step into the Inferno, and everybody keeps going, well, why don't you go into the Inferno? And Obsidian's like, I don't need to.
Yeah, no, the thing is, like, a lot of the people don't know that is the thing. Like, they know there's reasons, but they're also like, is it really that bad? And it possibly is. God, good art.
Obsidian and both to Boulder and Onyx. The best way I can put it about me, and in the broadest sense of terms, that whole island, I made the biggest failure of my life there. And not in the sense of resulted in shame, but I am, for all intents and purposes, a wanted man. And there is right now no reason for me to step foot onto that island, aside from my Hearth brothers are on it right now.
Okay, Kiryu.
What do you want from me?
No.
I'm just drawing parallels, basically.
Okay.
There is a moment as Onyx is thinking, and there is this gentlest, non-intrusive kind of feeling of a hand across, like, your emotional state, your surface thoughts, like, not scanning to see what's going on, but just more, to quote Pratchett, reading the shape of the brain. And yet, there is no shame for this. There is no shame of this failure.
My only shame of the failure is that I failed. I was in the right.
And you fear those that are in the wrong.
I fear what they can do.
This I understand. I will protect you from them. Should they come to this boat, I will do everything in my power to remove them.
At this point, a word carries when message comes in saying that crisis has been resolved.
Obsidian would mentally breathe a sign of relief.
You are a good man, Obsidian. I did not mean to push. I saw a source of distress and attempted to resolve it. Whatever you are most comfortable with and think would bring the safety to your hearthmates and your crew, I will support.
He would look up once more from his desk at Boulder and say, "There's one more thing."
Yes,
and
sir?
I pray in my deepest heart that this does not happen. As you and the crew know at this point, the boat's alive. The boat is a living thing.
Boulder nods. It's
No, it
spoken
isn't.
to me occasionally.
I
Let's try
can't
this again.
send any messages to you and the crew from far away through any mystic or magic ways. And this is how Obsidian would talk to. He
Yeah.
understands that he's a dragon. He understands what he can do. It's all magic to him.
I mean, that's fair. That's entirely fair.
Not like, the water one or the wind one can do, or now the wood one can apparently do it as well. The boat will know. If I ever have to leave and go on that island and something bad happens, I will let the boat know, and I want you to go to Compass, and I want you to leave.
There is a spike of anxiety from the wavelength of Onyx's brain.
Would personally say to Onyx, literal worst case scenario. Just, I like to have all my bases covered.
I understand. There was familiar words.
Don't
Trust
get
me.
anxiety.
Trust me, Onyx. I don't want. How do you say this without sounding cliche as hell? I don't want this any more than you.
Cliches work sometimes.
I don't want to be separated from you, my crew, or anyone else at this point. But it's just the way I am. I put others before myself. I can't help it.
I see.
Fucking anime protagonist.
I can't keep getting called out like this.
I will do my utmost to prevent that from being necessary. You have my word.
It's hard for Obsidian to continue this conversation anyway because
Yeah, no, Onyx would retract it feeling that block.
It is incredibly awkward.
let it go on the record that Obsidian feels very bad at making Onyx feel this way, but it is the honest to God feeling he has.
That is, it is entirely valid for Obsidian to be true to what he feels. It's also just Onyx feels the way Onyx feels sometimes.
Yep.
Drama from
Wouldn't
two
be a problem if the
intersecting.
boat didn't have a personality.
You're
You're
right.
right. You're right.
It's a mistake.
Some asshole did this to this boat.
Indirectly gave this boat anxiety.
Well-
Anyway, I believe, aside from the handoff on the Imperial City end, anything else that I was thinking of planning on doing was going to last a fair amount of time in the Imperial City, like the deliberative scenes, any other further exploration scenes, things like that, and that would probably take us a fair bit of time in. So I think I might call it for the night.
Sounds like we've gotten ourselves introduced to the city.
It sounds a good point to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Next time, Parliament?
Parliament.
Murder.
Definitely, probably murder. Also Parliament. Also the Imperial City. Dynastic politics. Figuring out what's been going on in the past 6 months.
What of Parliament?
What if murdering Parliament? Wait, no, hang on.
Yes.
Come on, no, you're supposed to be the idealist.
What if we replace Parliament with the proletariat?
Cromwell falls out of another time hole.
Why did we let a bunch of people vote on our
Oh,
problems? What if we just had one person make all the decisions?
Ivan the Terrible falls out of a time hole. Peter
Why
the Great
don't
falls
I,
out of a
the
time
smartest
hole.
person in the room,
Wallenstein is
say
here.
everything? 30 years of Blessed Isle. Next time.
I can't wait to finally win the 30 Years' War.
No, you won't.
Oh, I can't wait to
It was Europa all over again.
Spain will finally ride again.
Yes, anymore.
No, they won't.
I can't wait till
Never
I'm
gonna
done playing
happen.
Beneath Risk.
Next time.